goalkeeper. As a striker, you watch a lot of the game to the corners of your eyes all the time, and it's just one of those things, you know. He's always in control, and that is
obviously
such an important thing.
We've watched him his whole career, fantastic finisher, but you've seen him close in training. How good is he at finishing?
Yeah, very good. He gets annoyed when he misses a chance, but he's very, very, very good.
Yeah,
very good.
Both feet, everything.
Both feet, heading. Still does a lot of his penalties. A lot in an empty goal.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot in.
I can score in front of empty goals. Sometimes.
That's why he's doing it.
Sometimes,
That's why he's doing it.
A quick word about...
Again, the feeling, you know?
Yes.
A quick word about Harry Maguire.
Talk Sport.
Two headlines at 2 minutes past 10. I'm Nick Ellaby. Good morning. We're told the timing of Rob Edwards' sacking at Wolves is odd, especially following the signings of Kieran Trippier, Raul Jimenez, and, as club legend Dave Edwards explains, a new contract for Andre.
He spoke again about the importance of Rob Edwards. So I think everyone thought, from a Wolves perspective, that we were heading in a direction which was going to involve Rob. And everyone was starting to become really excited for next season. So I think it's just a massive, massive shock.
We understand Rob Edwards found out in a phone call after seeing rumours on social media. It's reported Portuguese coach Cesar Peixoto is lined to take over at Wolves. Now, Thomas Tuchel's told us England showed the team spirit he's been looking for in that 3-0 World Cup warm-up win over Costa Rica. With starting places next week still up for grabs, Gabby Agbonlahor's fellow Brummie really impressed.
Yes, Costa Rica, poor. I think there's better power league teams than Costa Rica.
Yeah.
But Bellingham, I thought was a standout player that first half. I felt like he had that.
Yes, I agree with you.
He had that bite about him.
Meanwhile, Declan Rice is in trouble with his mum about his sunburnt face in team photos. Rice says the heat in the US just hits you in the face. England's first group game against Croatia is live on talkSPORT next Wednesday. Scotland get going against Haiti, live on talkSPORT early on Sunday morning. But Aaron Hickey's already thinking about facing Brazil and his Brentford teammate Igor Thiago.
It's been funny. We've been talking every day about that game. So we're both really looking forward to it. But yeah, he's a big boy.
And we knew it, but now it's official. According to a poll, more than half the English want Scotland to do well at the World Cup, while more Scots want it to see England fail than want them to succeed. More at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
16 people have been arrested from last night's protests in Belfast, and police say Apple's agreed to disable stolen iPhones. Cara has more at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. With over 400 EV-ready centres across the UK, we're top of the league for electric car owners. Visit quickfit.com and book today.
Wet and windy, rain moving eastward, heavy at times, easing later from the west, cloudy, feeling muggy.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Because this summer, you and a mate could be jetting off to watch England versus Panama in New Jersey live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 with Adidas, including tickets, flights, accommodation and more.
Go to talksport.com/win to enter now, and you could be soaking up the incredible atmosphere at the FIFA World Cup 2026. For the chance to win every football fan's trip of a lifetime, enter now at talksport.com/.
Good morning, this is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 1 o'clock here on talkSPORT. Welcome to our new home for the duration of the World Cup. So Andy, what's coming up this morning?
Yes, coming up over the next 3 hours, Steve Bruce gives us his take on England's rain-delayed final warm-up game against Costa Rica last night. Comedian and last leg host Alex Brooker looks ahead to the 3 opening ceremonies. Three. Chat to one of the England fans who went to Mexico in '86 and never came back.
We also want your thoughts on Thomas Tuchel's likely first 11 for next week's opener against Croatia based on what we saw last night. Interested to hear from Wolves fans after your big news today And we'll chat to experts on both teams contesting tonight's opening game in the Azteca Stadium.
As all this, plus as the weather looks likely to majorly impact this tournament, we'll cross to question marks for the first of our daily updates from Fox.
I think it's Florida.
Oh, thank you.
I should have updated that.
And forget Paul the Octopus. Our predictive turkey, Tinsel, yes, is back for another World Cup.
No World Cup is complete without a predictive animal. We all remember.
True.
But Tinsel the turkey, who in 2018 was working for FIFA and wore the blazer with pride.
He did.
But he doesn't like FIFA anymore. He's got, for obvious reasons.
He couldn't get a visa either.
No, that was the problem. Probably would have got a pardon from the president had he gone there. So he's always a bit edgy around Christmas, so we tend to get him on in the summer. Anyway, Tinsel the turkey takes on a talkSPORT listener. So if you would like to be part of that, it's a bit like the Falls panel, except you're up against the turkey, really. 03717223344. That's the number to call for that if you'd like to take part in about an hour's time to take on Tinsel. It's winner stays on, we think. We quite like that.
Well, yes. You have slight doubts whether it's going to work. Well, you may well be right. We're going to find out.
I don't have doubts it's going to work. I just think, less is more. Andy, I don't want to do half an hour with Tinsel, let's be honest. Well, we won't do that. Just a reminder, so this is our new home. And if you're watching on Connect TV or YouTube, you'll see this beautiful new backdrop. We're normally a kind of a sort of man shed backdrop, but we've gone quite glam for this. This is proper World Cup. Well, you've got gifts, Andy.
I have, yeah. I bought you. I invested in this. I bought these with my own money.
How much are you paying for a sombrero these days?
I think they were about 15 quid for 3. So quite.
Okay. That's a fiver each. The basic
so I bought one for you and me, and one for the guests. I'm hoping Steve Bruce will actually win.
Well, I think he's virtual, so unless you can get it,
is he?
Unless you can get it on a fast bike to Manchester. You're going to have a problem. Should we go for it then? Yeah. It's a bit Route 1, isn't it? I'd say. Probably. Where a game's in Mexico.
I just thought the focus is so much on America, and today it is all about Mexico, isn't it, really?
Just very quickly before we talk more about sombreros and stuff, Jim and Simon are going to be live from New York at 1 o'clock. So we've just switched with the boys for the duration of the World Cup. They're coming live from the World Trade Center. They've got a fantastic array of guests. Their slot will be 1 till 4 for the duration of the tournament.
Or as Jim will undoubtedly say, 8 o'clock here in London. 1 o'clock in 1 o'clock in
3:15 in Tierra del Fuego.
Yes. 7 o'clock at night in Ulaanbaatar. Midnight in Shanghai. 3 a.m. in Melbourne.
Yeah, that's right. One of those. Gordon Ramsay, David Moyes, Brad Friedel, Fabian Hersler among their guests.
They're going to be great shows, I think.
Set your reminders. New York City, massive guest, brand new time slot. So White and Jordan in our slot from 1. With us at 10 till 1.
I was thinking, actually, being in Simon's chair, I'm sitting in his chair now. Between 10 and 1.
Can you say poppycock on a regular basis?
I feel the urge to use long words in the wrong context.
Fantastic. Well, I'm all for that, Andy. You know that. So, we're wearing big hats before we do this.
Oh, yeah.
And news today from the Sweden camp that Graham Potter, the Sweden manager, is turned up in a big cowboy hat. Turned up for training.
Oh, yeah, I saw it in the paper, yeah.
Do you think he's kind of compensating for something? It does seem a bit weird, doesn't it? I mean, if you're one of the Swedish players, are you having that? I'm just wondering what footballers are like.
It's something about Potter.
If suddenly the manager just suddenly turns up in like a big 10-gallon cowboy. I suppose the idea is it's in America. And but he's not particularly... He's not John Wayne, is he?
Not really.
That's really, as we all used to say when he was at Chelsea.
That in Sweden, somehow he's a different person than when he comes over here.
You think so? He comes alive in Sweden. No, there's pictures of him there. Look, there he is wearing this big cowboy hat.
He looks more relaxed. He looks more like a... I don't know.
There he's wearing it for training.
Cowed. When he was manager of Chelsea and West Ham, he didn't seem himself. Whereas here, look, and for Sweden, it sort of works for him.
It's not very Swedish, though, is it?
Not particularly.
I'm not wearing this for 3 hours, Andy. It's ridiculous. But you get the idea. The first game is in Mexico at the Azteca.
Well, that was 15 quid well spent.
Well, you've got 3 of them. We'll pass them round the studio. Everybody can wear them in the office. Maybe you just put one on and then do a prediction. Maybe we should do a bit of that.
Last night's game was quite encouraging, wasn't it?
It was.
As soon as England scored, I said to you, it's coming home.
Yeah, I think you were the first.
I wanted to be the first. But no one told last night's ref that there's some new rules in this year's World Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, she didn't do any of them.
Matt thinks, said, Andy saying he bought the sombreros with his own money like it's some kind of achievement.
Well, I didn't put them on X's.
No, he didn't put them. He's going to try and claim them back.
I won't.
Be a bit much, wouldn't it? sombreros.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. Dying to hear how Andy got on travelling at rush hour. Well, we've all come in saying that, our whole production team. Down here in London.
The listeners know.
I nearly got run over by a push bikes about 4 times on roads I can normally cross at 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock when I'm coming in.
I get a lot of people now asking me if I want to sit down. It's really depressing.
This is nice from Ian, though. He's thinking, it's almost like Help the Aged. He said, I've been thinking of Andy all morning. Was he grumpy as he didn't have his full quota of sleep? Yes, he was, Ian. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Did someone offer him their seat? Did they offer you the seat?
A lot of people offer me seats. That's the problem.
Yeah. Did he get narky at people shouting Chelsea players' names at him? It's only for 5 weeks, Andy. You got this. So good man, Ian. Thank you for looking out.
I'm happy to be here. And also, last night's game, I was thinking after about an hour, I thought there's no easy games in Sunday League football.
No.
So physical.
In the first 2 minutes, their striker, Manfred Delap, who went charging in with his elbow. Didn't he? Was it on Stones? I just still took him out.
Really putting it about. I've written down.
They were like an horrible pub team. You think, oh no. When you look at the fixtures, you think, oh no, we got the dog and duck next week. Oh, it's all going to kick off. Coach is going to kick off on the side.
Is Ron Harris the honorary president of the Costa Rican FA?
Well, I suppose if you're them, you've got absolutely nothing. You're not in the World Cup.
No.
You got a pretty decent scout.
Thank goodness no one. You thought somebody might get injured. I agree.
Yeah, I mean it was a bit worrying. Some of those tackles going in, you thought it was only a matter of time, wasn't it? It wasn't very. I mean, you don't want to start getting, because Bellingham was great last night, and we're interested to hear from you today. What did you make of the England performance? What does it tell us about the starting 11 for Croatia? Have you changed your mind? Are you more Gordon than Rashford now? We're going to have a chat with Steve Bruce in a moment about that and other matters besides. Some of the weird and wonderful ways Steve has been sacked as well. Poor old Rob Edwards discovers he hears rumours on social media, then has to ring the club to see if he's still got a job.
Really, really strange decision.
So we're going to have a chat with Steve about that. And again, we're interested to hear from you, Wolves fans. What do you make of that? It does seem odd to do it at this moment when he's been bringing players in and he's got a record of getting teams back up. So 03717
double job when it was hopeless. You knew you were going down, so you can't be punishing him for going down. It's very strange.
There were a few Wolves fans not having him, weren't there? We noticed towards the end of last season. But whether you're one of those or not, let us know what you think. 03717 223344. And on England last night, interesting to get your take on that. Players that have played themselves in, you think, starters.
I don't like the drinks break.
Yeah, I'll tell you what we did see last night as well, and we'll talk to Steve about this. I think it was the second drinks break. Costa Rica got on the front foot only for about a minute. Yeah. But still, England looked, they were just off it for a minute. They hadn't picked up the pace. And we talked about this, didn't we?
It's true. It's like cricket, isn't it? There's always a wicket after drinks break. But I was thinking in the second one they could stop for tea.
Yeah, that's a nice idea. Yeah, that's it. Come in and do the sandwiches. That would be a good idea. So, yeah, let us know what you're making of what you saw last night. 03717 223344. talksport.com/H&J.
Anybody want a free sombrero?
Yeah, text to 81089. Tweet to TS. Only a £5 apparently, but
I had to carry them. Didn't even have a bag. The box was all destroyed.
So you had to carry them all the way in.
I know.
3 sombreros.
Ridiculous.
Have you got a 3 sombrero? Did anybody say anything?
No one said anything.
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? Well,
no wonder they were offering you a seat. They said,
that's London, isn't it?
That poor old fella there. Look, he's come in with 3 How hot does he think it's going to be today? Going to wear through a sombrero. The other thing to get you going on today is this very quickly. Are you in a split World Cup household? Because one of the dating agencies has been doing some research in this. Let me find the newspaper here.
It was a bit NS Sherlock Institute.
Yeah, I know. A fifth of football fans wouldn't date a supporter of a rival team, and it would be a romance deal breaker for even more. Football isn't just entertainment, said a singles website. So we're interested. I mean, in the World Cup, it would be a split household. Maybe your other half is from one of the other nations involved, and we'll be getting right behind.
Tottenham,
but we don't want clubs. I mean, we want nations. I think we want nations today as it's World Cup. So if you're in a split nation household, let us know about that, as well as getting your calls in on England and Wolves and the World Cup in general. We're going to be looking at the opening ceremony. There's 3 opening ceremonies. Alex Brooker's going to join us to do that. So just to remind you, 03717 223344, talksport.com/H&J. Text to 81089, tweet to TSH&J. Steve Bruce kicks us off. Former Manchester United skipper, Newcastle manager. To look at England last night and some of the other big stories of the day in the world of management. Kieran McKenna walking away from Ipswich to have a break from management, and Rob Edwards losing his job. So Steve up next, and we are here with our very good friends at Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
No, are you worried about next season under Maresca?
No. You should be worried, mate, because I believe you want to bet on United finish higher than the
There's a chance, a small
There's not
chance.
a chance. No, you didn't say that the other day on the radio.
Why is there not a chance?
Because there isn't, because we've got better players and a better coach.
Look at what you lost, though. Bernardo Silva, Stones, you've lost Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, but there'll be a few coming in, don't you worry about that.
Is that it,
Yeah.
Gav? You said to me, so I'm going to give no what for, and that's it.
Your friend's on, is he? Oh, friend.
Well, just wait.
Well,
But
mate, if you
they
want- if you
only
want-
finished
listen,
7
listen.
points behind you as well, remember?
Listen, don't you worry about that, mate. If you're that confident, I'll bet you 500 quid that City finish above United, right?
I'm not a Man United guy either.
And if you lose, you've got to be my butler for a week.
I'll bet you 500. That's it.
No.
Not a
Come on, Gav,
butler.
take the bet. Take the
No,
bet.
Not a
you
butler, no.
you be my butler for a week.
No, I'll bet you 500 though.
500 quid's more than
500
your
quid's
week's wages, isn't it? Hey?
That's a show fee for us, mate.
I'll bet you 500 quid. When City finish above United, I'll come into TalkSPORT and I'll take it off you.
All right then. Fair.
Yeah, is that on? Is that a
it's
bet?
on. It's a bet. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'll go and get the money off the Man United
We,
fans in the
we,
studio.
we to go back to the thing, we've lost legends, Bernardo
Yes.
and John Stones and Guardiola. But I think we're in a better place to be equipped to deal with it. And if there's one thing that makes me feel better about it, it's the chairman is now the most important man at the club, and they barely make a wrong move at City. That you can count on the fingers of one hand. And I think they've had this. I don't think that Pep did.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Because this summer, you and a mate could be jetting off to watch England versus Panama in New Jersey live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 with Adidas, including tickets, flights, accommodation and more.
Go to talksport.com/win to enter now, and you could be soaking up the incredible atmosphere at the FIFA World Cup 2026. For the chance to win every football fan's trip of a lifetime, enter now at talksport.com/win.
Pens the ultimate ecstatic chapter to complete his already extraordinary story.
104 Super Bowls in 1 month.
World Cup will take soccer to the next stage in America. There is no doubt about that.
Ronaldo has done it! A hat-trick for Portugal! Finishers, rifling effort, blasted into the net.
Big players, big expectations, big moment. That's just the way we like it at a World Cup.
Mbappe has a hat-trick. He has his place in history. It's Kane, edge of the penalty area, goes alone and scores!
We dare to dream, and it's important.
50,000 inside Hampden go crazy, and Scotland have done it! Just give in to the joy of football. But now the page is turned, the waiting over.
Yes, it finally got underway an hour late. I was listening to the guys out there, and the feeling was at 7 o'clock when they first came on air last night, there was no way the game could happen. The great big puddles of water on the pitch. But it seems to have cleared quickly.
I thought it helped England, the pitch.
Yeah.
The ball.
They zipped it around, didn't they?
Quite good.
Anyway, let's get the thoughts of Steve Bruce, former Manchester United skipper, Newcastle manager, out in sunny Portugal. Good afternoon, Steve. Or morning,
good
Steve.
morning, how are you?
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of good afternoons. It's muscle memory.
That looks nice, Steve, where you are.
Yeah, it does look nice.
Sky backdrop.
The sun's shining there, Steve. Are they? Look at that, beautiful.
Sorry, I'm sorry to rub it into you guys. I have to tell you, but yeah, I'm out in Portugal at the moment.
What's the feeling before we get into England? What's the feeling locally about their chances?
Well, the Portuguese have been, for a small country, they're quietly optimistic, aren't they? And the big thing, of course, is when you speak. And I've got a lot of friends out here, been coming for a long, long time. And the big thing is Ronaldo and will he start? Will he won't start? And all the rest of it. I would think he would. And of course, Portugal are always blessed with some really, really top players. So when you look at their team, you know, you look at them and think, I wouldn't say they're likely winners, but they could be there or thereabouts. And in the mix, when it comes down to it, you wouldn't want to take on Portugal because they've got some outstanding football players who all play in the Premier League, by the way, most of them.
Yeah, or for PSG.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, or PSG, yeah, of course.
They've got good players. A few people have been tipping them up, Steve. But anyway, on to England.
Yes.
And so positive signs last night. Were you quietly?
Well, and I listen. I only seen bits of it. As I said, I'm out on holiday. I'd only seen bits of it, but there were the cruise past it, didn't they? It was easy for them. So, you know, you can take what you like out of friendlies. I looked at the team, and then when I'm analysing it, you look at it and think that's probably not far short of probably what we would all pick as his starting 11. So, yeah, they were quite comfortable. Listen, it's all about friendlies. You know, friendlies are used to get people ready, and the heat is going to be one thing. I think we've all realised now that is going to play a big part in it. It was absolutely sweltering by the look of it.
The one interesting thing was Anthony Gordon starting last night and how well he played. And we were chatting to John Barnes in the studio the other day, off the back of some comments David Moyes made, who's going to be joining Jim and Simon later, about wingers. Whatever happened to wingers? What happened to those sorts of players that go on the outside? So many want to cut in, whereas we saw Anthony Gordon, quite old school, chalk on his boots, taking the full back on the outside, which was good to see.
It was refreshing, wasn't it? Absolutely refreshing. And I think the way Tuchel is, I think he'll play with two out-and-out wide players, you know, and he looks for pace in a wide area. So, yeah, people say it's a little bit old-fashioned. We don't see them anymore. Let's be fair. Anthony Gordon is a top player. That's why Barcelona have paid all this money for him, you know, quite a remarkable move for him. So, yeah, I'm delighted that he's done well because he's one of these players who gets you off the edge of your seat, doesn't he? When he's direct, he's quick, and he's a top player. So it was good to see him playing well.
Steve, as a manager, what do you make of the way he's handled Bellingham? Because it looks like it might have worked. He played really well last night.
Yeah.
There has been this, is he in, is he out, is he the right bloke, is he as a team man? The doubts have been raised, haven't they?
Jonathan Northcroft, the author, he's written a new book about, and Tuchel features in it, and he said Tuchel couldn't create jeopardy, Steve, because through the fixtures, because they were just too easy to win in qualifying. So he's kind of created a jeopardy by keeping all the players on their toes, by not saying, you know, you're a nailed-on starter. And Bellingham kind of seems to have benefited from that. We've seen Ollie Watkins benefit from that. He admitted that it gave him a kick up the backside being left out of a squad. Yeah. So you can see, you know, Bellingham knows he's fighting for his shirt, really, with Morgan Rogers, and he played very well last night.
Well, look, I mean, he's an outstanding football player as well, isn't he, Bellingham? And this debate of whether he's going to be the number 10 is the one. Is it going to be him or the kid from Villa? Look, he's an outstanding player, Bellingham. I'll be very, very surprised if he's not going to start him, because I think we look at it, it's pretty straightforward. It's between him or Rodgers, and Bellingham's a top player. I mean, we're blessed in that. I mean, the 2-3 lads who didn't go to the World Cup are all top players in their own right. But I think Bellingham is if he plays well in the tournament, then I think England have got an outstanding chance.
We mentioned Portugal's midfield. Our midfield's not too bad, is it?
No.
Rice and Anderson do look to be the starting pair, do look to...
Anderson again was great.
Yeah, play well with each other.
Yeah, they've done very, very well. All of a sudden, Anderson has come from nowhere, hasn't he? And looks as if he's got a big move on the cards. I know both Manchester teams are after him, and there's even talk of Bayern Munich after the kid as well. He's had a wonderful season with Forest. He's made himself in England regular by the look of it. I mean, he picks him all the time, so I'd be surprised if he's not the starting 11, and him and Declan Rice look nailed on for them 2 positions in midfield.
At centre-half, your old position, Steve, there's sort of Gay and Konsa probably fighting it out, is the feeling. Do you have a preference?
I was surprised. I think I said on your show, I was surprised that there was no place for Harry Maguire in terms of his experience and what he gives you. I think them two look as if they've got the nod to start with. John Stones is an interesting one because he's no standing player. John, absolutely wonderful player, but unfortunately, he's always picking up an injury. And even he hasn't played a lot this season or last season. Sorry, it looks as if them two are going to. I think it's not too far off. When I look at the lineup yesterday, I think that is not too far short of what he could go with. Probably Saka instead of Madueke, but he was very impressive as well.
He did well. I'm sure him and Morgan Rogers are glad they got those misses out the way. They're both pretty glaring, weren't they? Last night, more or less open goals.
Absolutely.
Well, let's get them out the road because you need to take them in the big games when they come along.
Yeah, and we were saying, Steve, the drinks breaks, you're going to have to learn to manage them because it's kind of 4 quarters, isn't it, and not 2 halves at the moment. And
I think we're getting used to it. I think when the temperatures the way they are, you're right, it's 4 quarters, and after 22 minutes, 23 minutes, there's going to be big breaks, and it just shows it's going to be very, very difficult for all the players concerned, and that's the big thing for me is England and how they deal with the heat. But yeah, we're going to have to get used to it. It's not often what we see it, but it's what you say. It's like 4 quarters.
How much tactically can you affect a game as a manager in that break?
You get a couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, I guess.
Well, we've seen it in the Premier League, haven't we, when the goalkeeper goes down, don't we? The goalkeeper goes down. How often have we seen that now, where all the managers or coaches are sending the goalkeeper down, and you have a minute or 2. Look, you can get 1 or 2 points over. Of course you can. But I think we're going to have to get used to it. A lot of people probably are not going to like it, but I think with the heat the way it is, it's going to be part and parcel of it.
Steve Bruce is with us. We're going to keep chatting. There's a couple of domestic issues that have sprung up in the last 24 hours around Wolves and Ipswich, and we'll ask Steve to cast his mind back to some of the weird and wonderful ways that he has parted company with clubs, not necessarily his own idea. We asked you about split loyalties in the household. Mark from Maidstone. I'm English, the wife's Scottish. Both want each other's team to fail miserably. I live in a household split by England and Brazil on my partner's side. Looking forward, hopefully, rubbing her nose in it when we beat them in Miami, says Tom, the Arsenal fan. I'm English, wife is Spanish, daughter's 2 years old and has got a half and half shirt that they've made. Yeah. Well, I can understand, but the kids, it's much nicer, isn't it? And we're messing with people's heads. This is our new home. If you've just joined, think, what the heck's going on? Yes, this comes from Tom, the Stoke fan. He said, I put the radio on. I thought I'd lost 3 hours of my life. He says, by the way, Mrs. is Italian. Safe to say, I had the last laugh in March. Yeah, they're not even there, are they, Tom? But anyway, yeah, so we'll be with you between 10 and 1 for the duration of the tournament. Jim and Simon live from New York at 1 o'clock in our regular slot today. But more from Steve in a few moments' time. And don't forget to check out the World Cup Daily podcast. Adrian Durham joined in Stormy Orlando. Who's Stormy Orlando? Wasn't it? Let's not talk about that. I think the president wouldn't be happy. But Stuart Pearce and Jim Proudfoot after England's 3-0 warm-up win over Costa Rica with thunder, lightning and an elite drainage system. I'll always love a podcast about elite drainage system.
Too.
I wonder if Stuart got his rods out. Well, he's a spark, isn't he? But he probably would have gone down and fixed the lights. The team discussed Anthony Gordon's lively display, the impact of the substitutes, including Morgan Rogers' energetic cameo and reaction from Tuchel and Rice. So the World Cup Daily available on all podcast platforms now. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with us for until 1 here on talkSPORT.
about the fact he's not taken Palmer or Foden? Would you have taken one or both?
Look, I'm biased, am I? I everybody knows that I love Cole Palmer to bits. You know, with Phil Foden, it's a little bit. I think he's a magnificent player, but he has to have the players around him to play really for him, to be able for him to produce what he's producing at Man City. So you're always going to search a little bit more for Phil Foden to get the best out of Phil Foden, you know? So, but Cole Palmer, I would have taken him, but I do understand why Tuchel hasn't taken him, because he hasn't had the best season he could have had.
How important is that, though, that players that go to tournaments, you went to the 1998 World Cup, that you're going into a tournament in form?
Yeah, I had a magnificent year in 98. I didn't expect to go, but I went because I had a magnificent year. Look, Cole Palmer, I know he can turn up and be decisive. But then I think he hasn't done it for England the whole year. He's been unlucky when he came to England with injuries and all that kind of stuff. He's had a lot of football.
Wolves fans have been calling talkSPORT to react to the bombshell news Rob Edwards has been sacked after just 7 months in charge.
You know, you think they're rumours, it can't be true, and then bang.
If you're going to sack him
exactly.
slap bang at the end of the season.
Yes. I feel like they've just had a look in the shop window, gone, oh, there's somebody pretty around the corner.
It's reported former boss of Gil Vicente in Portugal, Cesar Peixoto, is lined up to take over at Molineux. Now, Thomas Tuchel was pleased with England's energy and intensity. Rice, Gordon and Watkins all scored in the World Cup warm-up win over Costa Rica. But the pick of the lot, who else?
That was the sort of performance from Bellingham of like, I'm the number 10.
Yeah.
I'm starting.
This is my
I'm
role.
going to be the player of the tournament. I'm going to be the player that wins the World Cup for this country.
England's first World Cup group game against Croatia is live on talkSPORT next Wednesday. Meanwhile, FIFA President Gianni Infantino has called for people to chill and relax over Somali referee Omar Artan being denied entry to the US to officiate. The comment came during a press conference where he defended FIFA over several controversies, including ticket price scandals, anti-government protests, immigration raids and visa issues. And Man City have made a British record transfer fee of $121 million for Elliot Anderson. There's more at talksport.com.
Yes, good morning. It is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs in our home for the duration of the World Cup between 10 and 1. Jim and Simon up at 1 o'clock this afternoon, live from New York. We're with Steve Bruce, the Manchester United, former Manchester United skipper and Newcastle manager. And Steve, get your reaction to Rob Edwards losing his job. Apparently, there was a few rumours last night on social media, so he had to put a call into the club to find out whether they were true or not, which all sounds a pretty shoddy way for a man to lose his job. I mean, I'm sure over the years you've got a few war stories about the weird and wonderful ways the chairman let you go.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have. I mean, unfortunately, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is one big surprise for the whole of the football world to wake up this morning to that one, where Rob Edwards, because he basically took over the team knowing that they were relegated.
Yeah.
And I think all it was, he was a Wolves fan, and that's why he was, that was his club of his dreams, and this, that, and the other. And then all of a sudden, for him to lose his job is quite remarkable. Nothing surprises me anymore. But I have to say, I think that's a big, big shock. I didn't expect that one at all.
I mean, he's got a record of getting teams out of that division. He seemed to be building something.
Maybe it was about the transfer plans. I was like, why else would you fall out at this stage?
Yeah.
Steve said they always knew they were going down.
Yeah, it does seem a really, really odd move. As I said, he's brought in some maybe players in his image, like Kieran Trippier, and Raul Jimenez has come back, and he felt that would be right. But, it seems that I heard the Wolves fans earlier on breakfast, generally not happy.
Well, I can understand the frustration with it because, as you said, when he first took over the job and he left Middlesbrough, we all knew that Wolves were going down and basically were putting Rob in charge to get them out the Championship. Yeah. That's what it seemed to from everybody. So for him to lose his job the way he has done within a matter of months, as I said, nothing surprises me anymore, but that is a bit of a shock, I have to say.
Do you generally know, Steve? I mean, it sounds like Rob has been blindsided by this, but do you generally has there ever been a point where you've been completely blindsided by losing your job as a manager?
Well, it's never a nice thing either, by the way, because, at the end of the day, you've been sacked and you have to come to terms with it. I know in football terms, it seems to be, well, there's no sentiment in it at all anymore. But yeah, you probably know. Nobody knows what goes on between four walls and all the rest of it and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, maybe they've had a breakdown in communication but then again, they've signed a couple of players, two outstanding players for the Championship, you would have thought. And then all of a sudden he's gone. So maybe, obviously there's something behind the scenes that we don't know about that they've let him go.
And he walked away from a good job at Borough to do it because of his love of the club.
A wonderful job. Big compensation at the time I would have thought. And yeah, big call. And everybody did scratch their heads and say, why is he leaving Middlesbrough, who had a chance of getting promoted if lost in the playoffs? And then and this has happened within 6 months. So yeah, unbelievable.
And they did improve a bit under him. I know.
Well, they had that period before that international break. They had that sort of long international break, and they never quite picked it up afterwards. And he was a bit critical of some of the players and their attitude in those closing stages. And a few of the fans were giving him some stick, and he didn't kind of go and do the old lap of appreciation. So anyway, look, we want to hear from some Wolves fans anyway. So 03717223344, talksport.com/H&J. Text to 81089 or tweet to TSH&J. We're also pretty blindsided, Steve, by the news about Kieran McKenna, because there was a feeling he could be going to Fulham. He was being linked with a job, but he's decided to have a bit of a break from football. He feels a bit burnt out. Can you appreciate that, having been in the hot seat at a lot of clubs?
Well, it takes some doing, walking away from a job where you've got your team back in the Premier League. I did it a few years ago when I was at Hull. My circumstances were probably different to Kieran, where I decided that I was going to take a break from it because the breakdown with myself and the then owner of Hull at the time was just not great for the football club. We just didn't get on at all, unfortunately, and there has to be a unity at a football club. And that's another one where I think we're all expecting maybe Kieran's going to end up at Fulham. But to take a break, I understand it. He's done an outstanding job over the last few years. He's got himself, into a position where he's an outstanding coach, young manager who's done fantastically well. And that is, to walk away, as I said, from the Premier League is a big call. and but maybe he thinks it's time to have a break.
Especially,
and it's full on. It's full on when you take these jobs. It's every day, 7 days a week. So yeah, take a break and come back refreshed.
Especially the club stayed with him after they were relegated. Often what happens is a club gets promoted, they're having a terrible season, and the manager loses his job, which always seems incredibly unfair. But they stuck with him and he brought them back. It's an odd move.
Is there an element of risk? I mean, look, he is a relatively young coach. So, I mean, could some chairman look at that thinking, yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, he walked away from Ipswich for a while. Or does he come back refreshed? And if you're a chairman, are you thinking this guy's going to be at it because he's had 6 months off?
His stock is high. And every job that comes available, Kieran seems to get a mention because of the outstanding work he's done for Ipswich. We all know he's a wonderfully talented coach. We knew that when he was at Man U, and people rave about him as a coach. There's a bit of a difference between coach and head coach or manager, but he stepped up to that role at Ipswich for the last few years and done a fantastic job. You're right. Unfortunately, Ipswich got relegated, but he's brought them back at the first attempt. He might think as I said, it's a break will do him the world of good, but he always seems to be linked with every job that seems to be out there, the big job. So I don't think that'll change. And he'll accept that he's going to take this break, and let's see what happens to him.
Finally, Steve, we have to ask the question, of course, and Gareth Southgate has set the bar pretty high when it comes to the latter stages of tournament football for England. But what do you think would constitute a good World Cup for Thomas Tuchel? You think he's got to win it? He's got to get to the final? Is semi-finals enough?
Well, we haven't won it for so long. We always seem to be up there with the favourites, but we haven't won it for 50-odd years or whatever it is. And there's still some outstanding teams, i.e. Spain and France in particular. And of course, nobody's ever going to write off the Brazilians, especially in the heat. I think for him to be successful, he's got to get there, semi-final, final maybe. It's going to be very, very difficult, as I said, because there is outstanding teams. But let's not forget England. England are a very, very, very good team.
Steve, enjoy your day in Portugal. I'm sure we'll catch up with you later in the tournament. All the best. Thanks a lot.
Thanks ever so much, guys. Thank you.
There's Steve Bruce there, former Manchester United skipper, Newcastle manager over in Portugal in the sunshine.
And on that note, the Sun's front page is, "Dear England, you carry the dreams of a nation that's had it tough.
Yeah.
We believe in you. Never forget you are lions. It's time to roar from the Sun." They didn't put, "and we'll be the first to slaughter you if you go out there."
Yeah, they didn't put that in brackets.
Sorry.
Split loyalties World Cup wise in the household. Clive says, "My wife is half Belgian, half German. 4 children, all born in France. Wife will always start by supporting Belgium till they get knocked out. Then she switches to whoever has more chance." That's a good system, Clive.
Very good system.
So if you're in a split World Cup household, let us know. If you're a Wolves fan, and we'd like your take on what's going on with Rob Edwards. And if you're an England fan, let's reflect on last night. Are you buoyed by what you saw? I know, as Steve said, friendlies are friendlies and all that. But there were some positive signs, I think.
Good
intent. Fair to say. 03717 223344 talksport.com. Text to 81089 or tweet to TSH&J to get in touch this morning. We're here with Selco Builders Warehouses. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.
Obviously, we've got you on to talk about France and the French squad. How confident is the country of going all the way? Because every single person I speak to, and I say, who's going to win it? Everyone I've spoken to says France first.
When you look at the squad, I think we can say we favourites to win the tournament. But I don't know. I've got to say I'm a bit worried because I've watched the last few games and we are conceding goals, and I don't know, Mbappe looks like he's not in his best shape yet. And, I think coming into the World Cup when you're heavy favourites is not easy. So I don't know. I think we'll be up there, but there's other teams that can win it as well.
France have got an outstanding forward line, haven't they, Neil? I mean, look at Elise's form, Dembele, Mbappe, Barcola, Doué. But like you says, is it the defence? Maybe a full-back, left-back, right-back? Do you think that's where they might let themselves down?
I think that the defense is a bit of a problem right now. I've seen a stat yesterday watching the game. I think in the last, they've conceded a goal in the last 5 or 6 games, and that hadn't happened in years, I think. So, which for me is not a good sign before tournament. And also, like you said, we've got a lot of amazing forwards and strikers, but I think the downside of it is also, can they defend? Can they help the team when is going to be needed? And I think we've seen this season.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Because this summer, you and a mate could be jetting off to watch England versus Panama in New Jersey live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 with Adidas, including tickets, flights, accommodation and more.
Go to talksport.com/win to enter now, and you could be soaking up the incredible atmosphere at the FIFA World Cup 2026. For the chance to win every football fan's trip of a lifetime, enter now at talksport.com/win.
Duracell's Extra Mile on talkSPORT. Different, better, unstoppable.
Yes, time now for Duracell's Extra Mile, where we're going to pick players who we think will go the extra mile this tournament. Those players that bring a game-changing performance and bring you unstoppable power, of course. Well, I suppose we're going to, from an England point of view, we both said the same name straight away. We're very excited about seeing what Jude Bellingham can do in the tournament, aren't we?
Yep.
Encouraging signs, as Jason Cundy would say last night.
He's a great player. I mean, you just want all your great players to play to their full potential.
It was interesting that was the first time he played with Anderson and Rice behind him. And he went up and was a bit of a surrogate striker for a couple of minutes as well, wasn't he? And played with Rodgers. And there's a lot of talk. I had Gabby and with Andy earlier on talking about whether the two of them can play together. And there'll be opportunities during a game, but they're not going to start together.
No, they're not going to start together, no.
And he is a class act. Even Morgan Rogers said, he's a secret weapon. We should cherish him. So.
Absolutely. He's a world-class player. He don't play for Real Madrid, in the way that he plays for them and not be world-class.
Beyond England, Lionel Messi, he came off the bench in the final warm-up game, and somebody very kindly put together a little kind of reel of his 20 minutes because he's had this injury and they're nursing him back in. But, I mean, he's not doing any more running than he did in the last World Cup. But he's certainly not any slower. I mean, he'd find that hard, wouldn't he? Because he was
not relying on his pace.
No, he just sort of handballs about and plays a killer pass. He set up a penalty for Lautaro Martinez in that game. Just a lovely through ball. Then took the pen and, as he often does, put it away.
He's acclimatised, isn't he? He plays there in Miami. He knows that weather. He plays right through the summer, so that helps him.
And it's going to be interesting to see if he does start games. or not, or is just has a bit of an impact from the bench?
Or will it be no World Cup for old men like Ronaldo and him? I mean,
You reckon they'll be run out of steam? There's no sign of that at the moment. Is there?
And how they use Ronaldo will be interesting as well.
Anyway, we'll be keeping an eye on that throughout the tournament, the players that are going the extra mile. But for now, that was Duracell's Extra Mile.
Duracell's Extra Mile on talkSPORT. Different, better, unstoppable.
Now, domestically, the big story today is Rob Edwards losing his job at Wolves. He's brought some players in. There was no way he could have kept the team up last year. There was a little bit of heat from some of the Wolves fans at the final home game. Let's have a chat with Dean, who's a Wolves fan. Hi, Dean.
Hello.
So,
good morning.
Are you shocked?
Weirdly, as you should be in the afternoon.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry. I know. Good morning. I'm going to keep saying afternoon. You're going to do it as well. So, what? Yeah. So, are you shocked? Are you pleased? How are you feeling about it, Dean?
I was genuinely. I woke up this morning and I was just deeply confused because I'm no believer in Rob Edwards, but genuinely, but. I couldn't understand the thought process that you would not sack him at the end of the season rather than now. But, you know, I mean, you're Chelsea and Tottenham fans.
Yeah.
So who understands what the ownership is doing? At Wolves, no one really understands what their aim is.
I wish I could say I knew what the ownership was doing. I think Andy would say the same. Absolutely. I think we're all in the same boat. But, yeah, he did get a bit of heat from some of the Wolves fans. See that when he didn't come out and sort of applaud the fans, he said he didn't want to kind of create a situation. Do you think there will be some Wolves fans who are sort of quietly pleased he's gone?
I'll genuinely say, and this is nothing against, it's not personal, I don't think he was really highly supported by Wolves fans in general. But I don't mind him not doing the round of applause. A bit silly, isn't it, when you've lost or whatever, and, you know.
Yeah.
But I get the impression a lot of people, I don't know. He's a very good-looking man, though.
Well, we'll leave it at that. Dean, thank you. See you from Andy, the Wolves fan. Hi, Andy.
How you doing, chaps?
Yeah, we know that the fan base have got a kind of difficult relationship with the owners. Where do you sit on this decision today, then?
Well, where I sit with it is nice and straightforward, really. Football is a crazy, mad business. It makes no sense whatsoever. You know, like Dean was saying earlier on, you're a Chelsea fan, you're a Tottenham fan. Chelsea, I know we're talking about Wolves, but some of the financial business decisions Chelsea have made beg a belief. But if I look at the Wolves situation, I'd love to be in the boardroom. You know, we authorise a compensation payment to Middlesbrough because they want him. Fantastic. He's on a great contract. Brilliant. We go down. Well, we always were. From about the third game in, we were going down. But that's irrelevant. His style of play was a bit rubbish, but you got to give him his due. And then we say, it comes to the end of the season, and shall we sack him? No, we won't sack him. We'll give him next season. Okay, that's great. So now I want to be in the boardroom. So, Mr. Chairman, he wants to sign Andre. Can we have the money? Yes, you can, yeah. Great. Mr. Chairman, Kieran Trippier wants to sign. Can we have the money? Yeah, you can. Okay, great. Fantastic. Thanks. Mr. Chairman, we can get Raul Jimenez back. Can we have the money? Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. And then Matt Jackson's phone goes off, and he says, "Hello, Mr. Chairman." Oh, okay, I'll go and see him now then.
Yeah,
that's just incredible. It makes no sense whatsoever.
I mean, the chances of Peixoto, the guy who's coming in from Portugal, not fancying those players is unlikely, and I'm sure part of the job is their new signings. You're going to have to get a tune out of them, but it does seem bizarre.
Look, I get that, but every managerial replacement is, in my opinion, is a gamble.
You sure?
And this one, for sure. This one, for me, is even just as big a gamble. You've got Rob Edwards, who clearly isn't everybody's favourite. I get that, but let's look at his history. He's got form of getting teams up.
That's very true.
This guy's got to come into England, and he knows absolutely nothing. He probably don't even know how to order fish and chips.
Well, that'll be day one.
Of managerial ability, that.
Yeah, nice one, Andy. Thank you very much. I want to squeeze in a quick England call as well, based on what we saw last night. Gareth. It's not that Gareth. Not Sir Gareth, is it? I mean, hiya, Gareth.
It'd be great if it was.
Good morning. Nice to speak to you. I'm going to be slightly positive.
Oh, that's cool. That's a good thing.
Yeah, from a slightly different angle, because
being slightly old in the tooth, I often thought that England would eventually win the World Cup.
Yeah.
And by that time, nobody would actually care about it.
Right.
You know, in previous years, well, if you go back to, tournaments like Italia 90, France, Spain and all that, there'd be flags on every house, everybody would have one of them little flags going out of the car. I haven't seen a single St George's Cross.
Yes, that's because the tournament that's a momentum tournament.
It does feel a bit low-key. I know where Gareth's coming from. You're not quite seeing
you if England get into the latter stages, it'll go bonkers.
But often, Gareth's right, often what happens, even at the start of a tournament, the flags are out all stuck on everybody's cars. Look, it's a week just under a week till the first game. So
wait till the first game. If they win the first game, that might start happening.
That's right. Well, you brought sombreros, Andy. 3 for £15 if you're in the market for a sombrero at the moment. I don't know. You said they only come in threes.
Well, apparently, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you reckon these are quality sombreros?
Well, this is
3 hats for £15 doesn't. I mean, there's another one.
It was the office one.
That
was very pinata.
The office. Look at that. The office sombrero. I don't know what you're supposed to do with that. It's got a sort of pinata look about it. If you put it on, I'll smack you over the head.
That's the Costco sombrero.
I think it's a Kirkland sombrero. That is very true. Anyway, it is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs in our new home for the World Cup. A couple of listeners have already said, I woke up just now.
Keep away from fire. Not surprising.
Keep away. We will keep away from fire in that sombrero. So yes, a few listeners have already said I've lost 3 hours of my life. You haven't. We're here from 10 to 1. Jim and Simon up at 1.
And that's only at 1 o'clock after you've listened to it.
Yeah, that's right. They're the ones you'll never get back. Joining us in the next hour, South African football expert Mark Gleeson looks ahead to the opening game against Mexico this evening. Our own Alex Brooker, who's appeared in 2 Paralympic opening ceremonies, casts an eye over the 3 World Cup opening ceremonies, the first of which are tonight. And Tinsel the turkey, the predictive turkey, never mind Paul the octopus, is back for another World Cup after his stint working for FIFA. And he'll be up in a few moments' time. More of your calls, don't forget, 03717 22 3344, talksport.com, text to 81089 or tweet to TSH&J. And you can also tell us about your split households. We are looking for those tales where you maybe got fans from 2 different nations rooting for different teams. That's all to come.
People in the pub aren't sitting around in the pubs talking about accessibility. We are. The media are. We're creating conversations to be able to confect outrage, to be able to create content. Most people accept it. They accept the reality of the circumstances that these premium games, these premium tournaments have a caveat which means that ultimately they're beyond the reach of most people. That doesn't make it right. I'm not arguing for the right and wrong of it. I'm putting the pragmatic reality of it. I do not know, and at this moment in time I'm not sure that we do know, the reason why this referee wasn't allowed in the country. If he didn't meet the visa requirements...
He hasn't met the vetting requirements, is what I'm being told.
So that's not a mess. That's an issue from his side, and it's an issue from the people that represent him. As far as the Iranians are concerned, with due respect to whether you like it or you don't like it, the US is at war with Iran. It's hardly a surprise that you are not going to particularly want Iranian supporters coming into the country, despite the proclamation at the time, with the circumstances that Infantino was orchestrating and illustrating, that we want it to be the most inclusive World Cup you could possibly be, and it will be available to everybody. But there are exceptions. If you don't meet your visa requirements, and if you're at war with a country, those are possibly reasonable exceptions. You've now got a World Cup that's got 48 teams rather than 32. So already you're making it more accessible.
Yeah.
So there are lots of pros and cons. What we are doing is we're doing what media usually does, which is find a reason to find something other than the football to talk about. And I quite like that because I don't want to spend my entire time talking about who plays left back for Costa Rica. But I get the parameters of every tournament comes up, whether it was Russia, whether it was South Africa, the stadiums weren't going to be built, whether it was Russia...
Tinsel, the predictive turkey, is back. If you would like to predict the score of tonight's game, it will be winner stays on. The game between Mexico and South Africa this evening. Get in touch now. Call us now. We'll speak to you in a few moments' time. 0371, you're taking on a turkey, for goodness sake. What a claim to fame that is. 0371 722 3344. It's 0371 722 3344. Call us now. We'll get straight back to you and we'll be chatting to you in a few moments' time. We'll have a bit of England chat with you as well, I'm sure. But first, Nick Ellaby has these sports headlines.
Talk Sport.
Thank you, Paul. Good morning. The timing of Rob Edwards' sacking at Wolves has taken everyone by surprise, including these fans.
We've heard these rumours for the last 48 hours, but, you think they're rumours, it can't be true, and then bang.
If you're going to sack him
exactly.
slap bang at the end of the season.
Yes. I feel like they've just had a look in the shop window, gone, oh, there's somebody pretty around the corner, and I just don't know whether it'll work.
After just 7 months in charge, we understand Edwards was sacked over the phone after seeing rumours on social media. It's reported Portugal's Cesar Peixoto's line to take over at Molineux. Now, Thomas Tuchel says England are almost ready for the World Cup after a comfortable warm-up win over Costa Rica. England face Miami FC in a truncated behind-closed-doors game today.
2 times 30 minutes or something like this, especially for the guys, like I said, who didn't play. The guys didn't play so much. Guys who started will not be involved. And give them some game minutes, and then we're good to go.
England's first group game against Croatia is live on talkSPORT next Wednesday. Scotland versus Haiti is live on talkSPORT early on Sunday morning. But Aaron Hickey is already thinking of that Brazil game. He's been chatting to his Brentford teammate Igor Thiago.
He's a big boy. Holds it up well. I've only played with him one season, but he's a good player. But hopefully I can give a few tips to the centre-backs.
The World Cup kicks off on talkSPORT today with Mexico versus South Africa from 7 p.m. And Harry Maguire is one of 3 Man United players done for speeding. He's been fined £1,000 for doing 37 in a 30. Maguire's teammates Mateus Cunha and Altay Bayindir have also been prosecuted for driving too fast. More at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
More than 2,000 people were cared for in hospital corridors in England in May, and there are claims nurses are being blocked from going into work by masked men in Belfast. Cara has more at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Our expert technicians can't do your spring cleaning, but they can keep your car's inbuilt safety tech in top nick. Visit quickfit.com and book today.
Wet and windy, rain moving eastward, heavy at times, easing later from the west, cloudy and feeling muggy.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Because this summer, you and a mate could be jetting off to watch England versus Panama in New Jersey live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 with Adidas, including tickets, flights, accommodation and more.
Go to talksport.com/win to enter now, and you could be soaking up the incredible atmosphere at the FIFA World Cup 2026. For the chance to win every football fan's trip of a lifetime, enter now at talksport.com.
And now it's time for H&J versus Tinsel the Turkey.
Yes,
proper trail.
Good morning. It is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Alex Brooker will be joining us. You've been joining on the podcast How to Win the World Cup with Matt Ford. He is, of course, from the last leg. He's a big Arsenal and England fan, and he has appeared in 2 opening ceremonies at Paralympics. Possibly even more than that, he'll tell us. So we're going to look at the opening ceremonies with Alex and talk a bit of England as well. It's 6:30 tonight. They're going to be showing it on TV, and I'm sure we'll be right across that as well. Mark Gleeson, South African football expert, will be joining us. And we'll get more of your calls on England
03717 22 3344 talksport.com/H&J. I'll text at 81089. More of those split household stories as well. Little tip from Andy in the Black Country. Kieran McKenna for Celtic after Martin O'Neill's done his 12 months. Put your money on it, says Andy. I could see that. Yeah, totally see that. But 12 months is a long time out for Kieran, but we'll see.
Yep.
Anyway, as you just heard there from that expensively put together trail, Tinsel the Turkey is back. He is the predictive turkey. You may remember Paul the Octopus.
Yeah.
He was a bit too expensive for us, and I think he's dead. So, almost certainly. So, we went for Tinsel the Turkey. And
he's been with us a long time.
Yeah, he has been. He worked for FIFA at a couple of World Cups, but he's had a fallout with Infantino. Lovely to speak to you again, Tinsel. How are you? Yeah, clearly not looking forward to Christmas. We knew that, but we take that as read every time we chat to you. So, no longer working for FIFA. We saw some fantastic picture of you in the blazer, sitting next to Infantino. So, what is it that's put you off? Why have you stepped away from your FIFA duties, Tinsel?
It's a long answer.
Very similar pattern of speech, isn't it? If you noticed with the turkey, it's kind of.
He wasn't happy with the ticketing. He didn't.
Well, I mean, let me translate because I'm apparently the only person who talks tinsel. Talk tinsel.
Yeah.
He didn't like the ticketing.
Yeah.
He was told once just to chill, relax by him, which he didn't like. Didn't like that. No. That was dissing. And he saw him buying some cranberry sauce. Not necessarily in that order. So, you get the idea with that.
You do.
It's a predictive situation.
Might wear a bit thin after 4 weeks.
I think it might. Andy wanted to do 2 games, but I quickly said to him, less is more.
I'm planning to bring in Flipper at some point.
Flipper?
Yeah. I've been grooming him, if you'll pardon me.
I don't say that to Tinsel. He'll get upset. Andrew, the Manchester City fan, has decided he wants to be part of this sorry mess. Hello, Andy. How are you?
Hello, good afternoon. I'm good, thank you.
Oh, good. Fantastic. Well, you're taking Tinsel on.
You might go all the way.
You could, because it's winner stays on. You could become very much a part of this show. So let's see how you get on, though, because Tinsel, having worked for FIFA, very much knows what he's doing. So it's pretty straightforward. We're looking for a prediction for Mexico versus South Africa, the opening game, live on talkSPORT this evening. So how do you see this one going? We'd like a score from you, Andy, if that's possible.
First game of the tournament are always a bit tricky to predict. I was tempted to go for 0-0, but then I'll come across as being incredibly negative. So I'm going to go for Mexico to win 1-0.
OK, Mexico 1-0. Our old mate Mark Bircham, the former Canada international, QPR and Millwall, does have a system in the early stages of World Cups. I think he goes 0-0, 1-0, 1-1, and he doesn't really see much beyond that. Because you're right, Andrew, they're often very cagey, aren't they?
They're going to be, yeah.
But let's see if Tinsel's going to be any more expensive. So we've gone 1-0 Mexico from Andrew. Tinsel, what about you?
It's good analysis.
You can't argue with it. Apparently, South Africa's 9 opening games in World Cups, none of them have ended goalless.
Oh, really? Okay.
According to Tinsel. Mexico unbeaten in their last 7 opening matches at a World Cup.
Oh, he's like Stato, isn't he?
I mean, he does. He doesn't work for FIFA and for nothing, do you? Especially as a turkey, to try and get a leg up, to get a turkey leg up in the world of football, in the world of FIFA. I mean, it's not easy.
It's not really.
So let's have a score prediction from you, just a brief one, ideally, because I think we've all had enough of this. 0-0.
0-0, I agree.
So he thinks he's going to buck a trend.
It often is. I agree with Tinsel.
So there we are. When you look back on the high points of your life, Andrew, maybe this won't feature. What about England, and how are you feeling from an England point of view, based on what you saw last night? You feeling optimistic?
Yeah, I am actually. I've heard a lot of negativity, but yeah, I quite like Thomas Tuchel. I really think I fancy us to get to the final, and then, as always, it's just a bit of a lottery from then. We could go out on a dodgy decision.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should be getting to the final.
Do we deserve a bit of luck? I mean, you do kind of feel that at times. We often got done on pens or the Frank Lampard goal.
No, absolutely.
And a God. We've often got stiffed. I'm sure there's plenty of other examples where we got away with stuff. But I do know what you mean. Maybe we just
1966 for
yeah. Oh yeah.
That'd be one.
That'd be it. The ball. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, well, we don't talk about that because it clearly crossed the line.
You know Tinsel's first name, don't you?
What?
Thomas Tinsel.
Is he Thomas Tinsel? I never knew that.
I know.
That's fantastic.
Amazing.
Well done. Good man, Andrew. Thanks ever so much.
Might be back tomorrow.
Sorry, you might be back tomorrow. Yeah, hopefully, if you really want to do that again. But there we are. And thank you, Tinsel. We'll catch up with you tomorrow, eh? Yeah, Tinsel.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's I'm going to do that for 5 weeks.
No, it's fine.
5 weeks he wants to do it for.
Games every day.
Let's do 2 games, he said. Possibly 3. I said, Andy, come on.
Flipper will liven it up.
Yeah, well, don't. Okay. Not sure about that.
Tinsel's going to have a couple of days off, I'd say.
Well, he's going to need a break, isn't he?
Yes.
It's the intense work that he'll be doing, all these predictive. Anyway,
yes.
All those stats were right, by the way. Didn't make those up.
No, I knew.
John is in Blackpool. Hello, John.
Oh, crikey, yeah. It's John Atkinson.
Hello, John. How are you?
Well done.
I'm fine. I went to the 1966 World Cup final.
Did it cross the line, John? Did it?
It did, yeah. Definitely. This is unbelievable. I listened to your programme for about the last 15 years, and it's so entertaining. Well done, gents.
Oh, that's very kind of you, John. I mean, what a great... What a great claim to fame, John. Gone there. How much was your ticket? How did you get your ticket? Tell us the story.
Well, no, a chap, we bought them through the FA, and it was £6, £7.16, oh God, bloody hell! I've forgotten. It's so cheap. Oh, I can't believe I'm on because all these years, and I've bloody laugh all the while with you. It's
well, there you go.
Swearing away there.
£3.17 and 6 was I paid for 10 tickets.
Wow, £3.17
You should
and
put
6.
them on the resale site. You probably get about 1,000 quid for them now.
Well, I've got them all. I've got all the slips. Yeah, so I'm just in the course of
That's brilliant. Wow.
Yeah. So
Where were you? Where were you standing? What were you at the Jeff Hurst end when the winner went in?
No, the other end.
Ah, okay.
Other end. Yeah.
Oh, you saw a couple of goals.
So
then.
what did you think of the third goal? Did you think that's in or?
This is like talkSPORT gold.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Let's go.
I've been trying to get on for all week, for about 3 weeks, trying to get onto your station to just tell you what this, because as I say, it was at Everton. And then it was some games at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Total of 16, 10 games, and it was £3.17 and 6.
£3.17 and 6 for 10 World Cup matches. Gianni Infantino, are you listening? That's fantastic.
Well, I hope he is. Yeah.
How are we going to do this time? How are we going to do this time? Then you think?
I think we might, because he's a great manager. I think.
Yeah.
But I think they do. They could do. Who knows? It's going to depend on the temperatures and everything, I think.
Well, look, John, we appreciate you listening, and we appreciate you calling. And God bless you. Thank you very much. Enjoy the World Cup. Take care. There's John in Blackpool, man who went to the 1966 World Cup final.
Tremendous.
03717223344 talksport.com. Text 81089. Tweet TSH and J. Split households during this World Cup. Mummy's German/Italian. Daddy's more English than English. My brother is my half-brother, supports Italy. Italian dad. Me and my dad are England. Mum is caught between England and Germany, but England is now preferred after 50 years of living here. That is a proper split household.
That's good.
Yeah, good stuff. So keep those coming. talksport.com/H&J. Text to 81089. Tweet to TSH and J. 03717223344. Your calls on England. Some Wolves as well. Going to have a chat with Matt Jarvis, see what he makes of what's gone on. But Alex Brooker joins us, a man who has appeared in opening ceremonies with his thoughts on that and a bit of England as well. We're here with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
need leaders in this changing room. And, you know, at the back there, you've got a bull sitting next to a panda in your changing room. You need a leader, someone who'll back up what you say. You need the Brazilian parrot at centre half with the ball. Now, hear me out. He's a good talker. Now,
what do you need? Sorry, what'd you say?
The Brazilian parrot.
The Brazilian what?
Parrot. A parrot.
The what?
A parrot.
Can't hear. You can't. Well, don't turn that off. Turn that off. Turn that off. What'd you say?
The Brazilian parrot. Oh, I know what you're doing. Right, brilliant. Well done. Well done.
Come on, mate. That's the oldest trick.
Come on, Lozza.
Come on, mate. Loz. It's the oldest trick in the book.
Mate, come on, Loz.
It's the oldest one in the book.
Anyway, he's a good talker.
He's good what?
Oh, Loz, come on.
I'm only messing with you, mate.
He's good in the dressing room. If you tell the lads they need to press, he'll go, lads, they need to press.
He does talk.
He's a bit repetitive, though. Does he come up with his own ideas? Like, you know?
Well, you know what? He's not akin to the dark arts either. You imagine trying to take a penalty and the opposition's got a parrot in your ear.
What's he saying?
You know,
What's he saying?
Who's a pretty boy then?
Who's a pretty boy then? The thing is, though, here's the problem, right? Half our team's got feathers.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's a good thing, right? If I lined up and I looked at half their team, I'm thinking, look,
Jeez, we got a ball with a white wolf, mate.
I know, but there's a lot of feathers in there. It's too many birds in there.
Imagine the opposition gets a corner and you can get your parrot. He can sit on the crossbar, can't he? And tell everyone what to do.
Sit on the shoulder.
It's
on the shoulder, mate. Parrot's on the shoulder a lot.
Mate, there's no way a parrot's lasting with a...
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Because this summer, you and a mate could be jetting off to watch England versus Panama in New Jersey live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 with Adidas, including tickets, flights, accommodation and more.
Go to talksport.com/win to enter now, and you could be soaking up the incredible atmosphere at the FIFA World Cup 2026. For the chance to win every football fan's trip of a lifetime, enter now at talksport.com/win.
That's your official World Cup song.
Shakira, Die. It's a bit odd, isn't it? Because Wales aren't even in the...
I know. It would have made a great Wales World Cup song, Day, wouldn't it?
It would.
That's Burner Boy and your old mate, Andy.
Yeah.
And I know you him hang out quite a lot.
We do, yeah.
And Shakira.
Again.
We got 3 opening ceremonies, the first of which is tonight in the Azteca. And that's on at 6:30. Joining us now, a man who's appeared... and as I know, 2 ceremonies, opening ceremonies in the Paralympics, possibly more than that, I don't know. You've been enjoying his work on How to Win the World Cup, the podcast. He's from the last leg, of course, big Arsenal fan, although we won't talk about that. We've parked all the Arsenal stuff. This is very much about the World Cup. Alex Brooker. Hi, Alex.
Hi, you all right, fellas?
Yeah,
good, thanks, Alex.
We're good. So, so was it just the 2 Paralympic opening ceremonies you and Josh were part of?
Yeah, just the two. Incredibly, the role that I was given, well, both of us were given, was as applauders, which is your main role is to clap, which obviously you boys to look at me wouldn't have gone as down. Well, I was dressed as a cloud. We were dressed as clouds in the Rio opening ceremony. But it was this amazing moment because we walked out. It was at the Maracanã, so you're just like, what an iconic stadium to be in the middle of, full of people. And then you kind of realise you're dressed as a cloud. Also, the other thing with those opening ceremonies is just how many countries there are. And you get to kind of, you get to Costa Rica and you're absolutely knackered. No applauding. Applauding. Yeah.
Yeah,
proper,
the Olympics ones are much.
Proper fatigue. Tierra del Fuego, you're going, yeah, all right, mate. Two blokes, one of them's 67, he's doing the shooting. The other bloke's a sailor who's got no chance. Swimmer who's going to come last, what's the point? You must get very jaundiced, I would imagine. One of the staples, Andy and I, when we were doing fantasy football, and him even more than me, but I think for Fantasy World Cup that time, we watched practically every opening ceremony, going back to all the ones they had all through the 70s. And one of the staples of an opening ceremony, I don't know they were part of your ones, is local kids making the shape of a map of the country or the city. That has to be, there must be in the FIFA statutes, I think. Alex.
Yeah, there is. And the big one I've always remembered, the first kind of big World Cup that I got into was World Cup 94. And Diana Ross with that penalty.
Yeah.
I remember just... Because obviously before that, the way I consumed football, I was too young at Italian 90, the way I consumed football, like, you weren't used to seeing all of this go on before a match. So all of a sudden there's this big kind of concert going on. You've got Diana Ross singing "I'm Coming Out" and then missing a penalty. Still one of the iconic moments in World Cups.
She wasn't actually singing, though. I saw somebody say, she was singing as she shot. Was she?
No, I think, that's a clip you may actually hear tomorrow.
Yeah, no, she actually, I rewatched it just before I came on. She is singing.
She is singing.
Pauses to go and take a penalty. Obviously, misses, the goal still explodes anyway, then carries on singing afterwards.
Yeah, maybe that's the secret for England then, as they step up there. Looking at Anthony, wasn't that a good pen by Anthony Gordon last night, though, Alex?
What a penalty.
That was like Ray Stewart, one for the West Ham fans. He wasn't singing. Well, maybe he was under his breath.
Maybe Gabriel was.
Probably in Spanish. But he absolutely drilled it. It was unstoppable.
Yeah, he absolutely did. It felt like there was a lot of frustration at the fact that they got kicked all over the gaff last night. Really, as a warm-up game, I don't know what Thomas Tuchel must have been thinking. Obviously, a few minutes in, you've played your best, kind of what I think he's probably played one of his strongest 11s. And within a couple of minutes, you're like, ooh, this is a bit tasty.
They did have a bit of pub. I thought one of the Costa Rica subs was going to come on looking half cut, holding a kebab with a shirt 2 sizes too small, having just turned up. It had that sort of vibe, didn't it, Alex?
It really absolute Sunday league. But it was surprising. But I thought England, they played quite well. Also given the delay as well. I thought that they played well. I thought it boded well. I didn't realise until then that how few games Bellingham, Anderson and Rice had played together. I think Thomas Tuchel said, "Is that the first time?"
First time he's played him with his first choice midfield. So you've got to cut the guy some slack, really.
Absolutely. I'm going to ask you.
Absolutely.
I'm going to ask you about your shirt. If for people watching on Connect TV,
is that Mexico or Ireland? Or is that Mexico?
Mexico, very topical.
I've got Mexico. They do incredible merch. Also, for all the incredible coverage that talkSPORT have got lined up this World Cup, I haven't seen that you've got any role for a man in Mexico. So all I'm saying is, if you need somebody live from Cancun,
we got the sombreros. I don't know if you can see them.
I've seen the sombrero.
Yeah, three for £15 apparently. And we got a shonky one as well. We got this one. I'm not sure whether it's got a sort of pinata thing, isn't it? It looks like. If you put it on Andy's head, I'm going to smack him with a hammer and get some sweets.
I'm fully prepared to do that.
Get some sweets out of it.
That's like one you get put on your head at like a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
You get an ice cream with sparkles.
Yeah. That's what's happened. That's talkSPORT all over. Someone's nicked it. Someone's nicked it. Someone's nicked it from Taco Bell. That's how we roll at this place. So, will you watch the opening ceremony as someone who's participating? Yeah.
Absolutely, I will do. I'm excited for the first one tonight. It's interesting that there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
Because I remember Japan and South Korea, they didn't have 2 for that. It was just one opening ceremony, but they've obviously given each host nation their own opening ceremony. And I can't help but feel, if you ever had like a load of kind of 40th birthday or birthday parties in a row or weddings over the course of weekends. And by the time you get to the last one, you're like, you know what? I can't really be bothered with this one.
Yeah.
So like everyone will be up for Mexico's tonight. A little bit less Canada tomorrow, and then obviously the US is the last one. But I see they've got Bublé. Michael Bublé.
Bublé is doing Canada. Nora Jones, Michael Bublé, but the thing
Alanis Morissette.
Alanis Morissette, she was never on Parky, I don't think, was
that's
she?
true.
But I mean,
interesting music for an opening ceremony. It's very smooth. I'm not sure it's conducive to get. I'm not sure after Bublé plays, still haven't left you yet. Everyone's going to be like, come on.
Yeah, and I was thinking that. It's just like you're going to have all these people dancing and all the big upbeat, and he's going, let me go home. He's going to. Do you want a crooner in that lineup? I don't know. Yeah, maybe you do a Christmas song. That'll be ideal. So, Alex, look, we are going to catch up with you during the tournament. We just a couple of things on the Arsenal front, England-wise. Declan Rice said he's been told off by his mum for looking sunburnt. So that's great, isn't it? It's great. Your old mum, that's the first thing. Phoned up his mum after the game. What did you think? She said, well, you're going to get a bit more factor 50 on your face. You're looking a bit sunburnt.
Yeah, it's a typical mum comment. It doesn't matter if he scored. He's got to look after himself. It's a long World Cup out there.
It certainly is.
It's going to be hot, yeah. And I saw Madueke do what...
Yeah.
Kind of textbook Madueke last night. Really
Jerry Lawton in the Star, our old mate, the writer, the reporter.
Yeah,
he's done a whole piece about England's who's sunburnt and who isn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the minutiae you want.
Pulitzer's all round. Who is sunburnt and who isn't? Let's not waste Jerry's work. Who's looking sunburnt?
Arsenal ace Declan Rice was amongst those who appeared to have caught the sun.
Yeah.
Jordan Pickford and James Trafford, Anthony Gordon and defender Dan Burn also looked like they'd not slept off on enough sun.
Norman Collier.
But John Stones and Jordan Henderson appear to have got it right, with both sporting healthy-looking talents.
Yeah. On a football front, finally, Alex, I suppose they're sort of managing Saka's minutes, aren't they, a little bit? Yeah. They're sort of a bit like they are with Messi. You're going to see a few players like this along the way. Maybe have had tough seasons and injuries.
He's got a bit more running power than Messi.
Yeah, I think he certainly has. But, I mean, I'm sure we all watch it through a kind of prism of our clubs. So I'm sure you'll be no different, will you?
No, I mean, the thing with Saka is he had a timeout and then he came back against Fulham, looked running freely, and then straight after that, it feels like he's not been quite right ever since. And as someone who's watched him, you can tell with Saka within the first few minutes how he's moving, and he's all about that kind of those explosive, quick movements. And when he doesn't have them, he doesn't feel like the same player. But obviously, Thomas Tuchel's looked at it and gone, well, even 70% fit Saka is still worth having in your squad.
Sure.
That's probably with the bigger squads he can afford to do that. But with Bukayo, I think I don't know how they're managing this, because he's obviously clearly been injured for quite a while, and they're obviously confident it's not going to make it worse. I'd love to see him be at his best, and I'm sure for England we'd love to see him at his best this tournament.
Bit of a frustration for him and Eza last night, because they were both obviously looking to create a bit of space and shoot early. And the only other thing Costa Rica seemed to be good at, apart from fouling, was blocking. And they did actually get in some decent blocks, because both of the boys had quite a few chances to shoot and the defenders just got in the way.
Yeah, they did. But I feel like for Eza, it's interesting. He's not kind of really in that conversation at the moment, is he? It feels like it's between Morgan Rogers and Bellingham, who's going to start in that number 10 role, and Eza's kind of not really.
And he's a finisher.
His role, absolutely. I feel very similar to what it's been at Arsenal at times. But I think the one is Madueke. I feel like, obviously, I know he missed the chance, but I don't think he did himself any harm, really. In general, sometimes it can be quite frustrating with his final ball. But I feel like we're going to be relying on Madueke a little bit on the right in this tournament. If they are having to manage his minutes, so it feels like Madueke could have a decent role to play.
He'll be working on his finishing, definitely.
Yes.
Cheers, Alex. We're going to catch up with you during the tournament. All the best.
I look forward to seeing you soon. Cheers, fellas.
Take care. Alex Brooker there. How to Win the World Cup, the podcast with Matt Ford and lots of top guests. Still available to listen to throughout the tournament. And I suppose there'll come a point where they won't be able to do it, because we'll know who's won the World Cup then, won't we?
That's true.
Anyway, get it while you can. The boys will be up on the fine podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Still to come, Mark Gleeson, South African football journalist and commentator. No one knows more about South African football than Mark, which is why we've got him on today. We'll be in Mexico a little bit later on with journalist and the owner of a club out in Mexico. Ed Mallion will be joining us as well. So we got tonight's opening game covered. Mexico, South Africa, 8 o'clock kickoff. Hugh Rosencroft, Nigel Adderley, Scott Minto are your team for that one. And then 3 a.m. South Korea.
I'll be there.
Andy will be there, of course. What a trooper he is. That will be the job of our creatures of the night. More on that a little bit later on. Our army of nocturnal creatures who will be watching those games so we don't have to. And indeed, you don't have to. But I'd love to watch Sonny play, but not at 3 a.m. when I've got to be up at 6. So that one is at 3 a.m. Ollie Klink, Adam Bridge and Darren Ambrose will bring you that one. But that's still to come. We're going to be chatting to some boys who went to the 86 World Cup, some Wolves fans rather timely, and never came back. Set up life in that part of the world. There's a new documentary about them. We'll chat to a couple of the boys a little bit later on in the show.
Realistically, what do you think England can achieve?
Well, I think England will do what they always do. They get to the quarterfinals and then they'll play somebody who's of an equal standing or just a bit better, and you know the whole world of cave in. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think England will win. What I would hope, because I'm going to the final, I would hope that it's a Brazil-Argentina final. You know.
Yeah.
So, but I think Portugal are the outside bet, and I don't think you can look past Spain and France, to be honest. So
if it does go the way it should go, England would meet Brazil in the quarterfinals in Miami.
Really? Well, I mean, you know, there's going to be... Brazil are going to be acclimatised to the weather and England are not. But, you know, England could do it. But, I mean, you have to say England have got to, 2 finals and 2... Is it 2 finals? Yeah, 2 finals. Yeah. Obviously not World Cup finals. And a World Cup semi-final. I mean, is that going to come round again? I mean, I like the manager, Tuchel. I think he's great, you know. And
do you think he's made a mistake not taking Palmer?
No, Foden. They didn't deserve to go. Come on, Phil has had 2 pretty bad seasons in a row.
Wolves fans have been calling talkSPORT to react to the bombshell news Rob Edwards has been sacked after just 7 months in charge.
You know, you think they're rumours, it can't be true, and then bang.
If you're going to sack him
exactly.
slap bang at the end of the season.
Yes. I feel like they've just had a look in the shop window, gone, oh, there's somebody pretty around the corner.
It's reported former boss of Gil Vicente in Portugal, Cesar Peixoto, is lined up to take over at Molineux. Now, Thomas Tuchel was pleased with England's energy and intensity. Rice, Gordon and Watkins all scored in the World Cup warm-up win over Costa Rica. But the pick of the lot, who else?
That was the sort of performance from Bellingham of like, I'm the number 10.
Yeah.
I'm starting.
This is my
I'm going to be the player of the tournament. I'm going to be the player that wins the World Cup for this country.
England's first World Cup group game against Croatia is live on talkSPORT next Wednesday. Meanwhile, FIFA President Gianni Infantino has called for people to chill and relax over Somali referee Omar Artan being denied entry to the US to officiate. The comment came during a press conference where he defended FIFA over several controversies, including ticket price scandals, anti-government protests, immigration raids and visa issues. And Man City have made a British record transfer fee of $121 million for Elliot Anderson. There's more at talksport.com.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. We're ready for the action. Are you? Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18 plus. GambleAware.org.
Yes, time now to catch up on all the odds thanks to BetMGM. We are now joined by Sean Martin from BetMGM to look at today's top sporting events and discuss the latest odds. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, lads. How are we?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We've not spoke. Well, I think we spoke briefly because we knew we were going to be chatting during the World Cup. So good to talk to you. Clearly a Scotland fan. They didn't have the friendly yesterday. It's funny because England are playing behind closed doors today. They decided they didn't want to do that because of a few injuries in the camp. And John McGinn was a bit defensive. Yeah. Do you feel a bit undercooked, Sean, or not?
Not at all. Two friendlies, 4 goals in both. So,
yeah,
raring to go.
They were. I mean, that was a good performance.
It does appear like Scotland are going to do something in the World Cup. They're going to actually be a lot better than they've normally been. I don't know.
I hope so, but don't jinx us. Don't jinx us. That's all I'll say.
Well, I'm not bothered either way, to be really honest.
Well, see, I'm
not one of these English fans. I don't go with all that. I can't stand people say, "Oh, yeah, I'd love for Scotland to do well." Shut up.
Just bought Andy. I see. We've just got Andy Robertson, so I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for him.
We've a lot of Scottish players. I don't think you get Scottish people as people, but
okay. Well, I should hope not.
No, of course not.
Sorry, Sean.
No, but you know that they want us to lose, so why should we want them to win?
Well, that 2 wrongs don't make a right, do they, Andy? Sorry, Sean. That's
it's football. To be fair, for what it's worth, I agree with you, Andy.
That's right. It's football.
Based on friendlies, do you see a bit of movement in the market? Did you suddenly notice today, after that much better performance against Costa Rica, a few more people have fancy England to win it, Sean?
Actually, it's not necessarily the opposite, but it is slightly different in price from last week. England was 6 to 1 last week, 7 to 1 now. Actually, so yeah.
Okay, I wonder why that is. I wonder why we're drifting. It's not great that we're drifting already. We haven't kicked a ball in anger yet. It's great, isn't it? I suppose other teams are just looking a bit better. So what about? Let's talk about the other teams. What about the outrights then? And where are we at? Who are the favourites currently?
Yeah, well, as I say, England 7 to 1 it all this summer. That has actually moved out a smidge. It was last week, I think I spoke to Jim and Simon, they were 6 to 1, now 7s. Portugal also 7s, but it's actually the opposite story for the Portuguese. They were 10 to 1 last week, so we've had quite a bit of backing for them. Those two sit behind Spain. They're into 9 to 2, tournament favourites in France, just a bit further back at 5s. The other side of England and Portugal, you've got Argentina and Brazil, both at 9 to 1, Germany at 12s, Netherlands at 18 to 1, and Stevie Clark's Tartan Army a nice wee 250 to 1 shot now. I know, or I presume you both want England to win it, lads, but who do you think actually will win it this summer?
Yeah. Well, Andy and I think Spain. I know you're going for France,
I'm going
aren't
for
you?
France, yeah.
Yeah, it's no obvious, but it's interesting that there is a bit more money coming in for Portugal because I've seen a few more people tipping them up. And
what's the each-way betting situation in the World Cup? Because there's obviously the outright winner, but is there an each-way market?
Yeah, there is. So you can follow them all the way through. You can basically take where is that team going to be eliminated. So group stage, round of 32, round of 16, quarter-final, semi-final, runner-up, winner, essentially. So you can trace it all the way through. Right. Who did you say you fancy? Is it France, Spain?
I've gone Spain.
I fancy Japan to get to the quarter-finals minimum.
Okay, well, that'd be an interesting one. And what about Scotland? Would you last 16? Would you go with that?
Well, that's the thing. I don't want to jinx it, but we have got the guts of a good team in there. I would say kind of Robertson, McGinn, McTominay's, I think, is almost Scotland's holy trinity. We've got kind of other good midfielders, other very good fullbacks, maybe centre-back and up front areas that can be suspect. But even then, as I say, we scored 4 in back-to-back friendlies, so some positivity there. I think you've got to be looking to get out of the group. You have to, given the format of the tournament this year. The thing is, we've been to 2 tournaments now, and we need to see that next step. I think we need to see that bit more from them at an actual tournament because it's been conspicuous by its absence at the 2 Euros. We pretty much every game at both Euros that we've been in, we showed no kind of real intent to win any of them. So I think we've got a very good chance. We've got Haiti first to start at the weekend, and I'm oscillating between outrageous optimism that will be the case and some pretty dark thoughts that it ends up Haiti 1, Scotland 0, actually. So
Haiti had to change their kit. Did you know that?
obviously Haiti have had to change their kit. They thought it was a bit too political, apparently. FIFA.
Inappropriate, apparently.
So, yeah, it's got kind of Costa Rica vibes, isn't it? Where you go out and you lose 1-0 to Haiti and then you beat Brazil. But I don't know if that would be enough.
That seems like a very Scotland thing to do.
It would be, yeah. Mexico, South Africa kicks it all off tonight. And I would imagine most of your punters, I mean, these opening round games with so much at stake, no one wants to lose, so they end up being pretty cagey, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's arrived pretty quickly, first and foremost, the opener, but it is the opening game at the Azteca, which is, is just iconic. Mexico 2-5 favourites, so you're right, quite a lot of people backing them. 33-10 the draw, so just over 3-1, and 13-2 for a South African upset. Now, only one host nation has ever lost a World Cup opener on home soil. That was actually the last World Cup, though, when Qatar lost. And even though I do get what you mean, we maybe associate these games with being almost nervy affairs, but there's been 19 goals across the last 5 World Cup openers, and both teams have scored in 3 of those. So I'm hoping for a good game. Mexico obviously have the recognisable figure of Raul Jimenez in their team. He's just off a double-digit season for Fulham. Not sure, to be fair, what frame of mind he might be in, having just signed for Wolves and Rob Edwards, only to find out that Edwards is gone. But he is the man for Mexico, and I think I'm eyeing up a wee bet builder for the occasion of Mexico to win over 2.5 goals in the game, and Jimenez first goal scorer. That's around 8.5 to 1, gents, and I'm giving the sombrero in front of you. Are we all on board with a Mexico win tonight then?
Yeah, 3 for 15 quid, and a chunky one that we'll put in the post here because we don't want it because it's a fire hazard, apparently. Jack, World Cup of Darts starts tonight. Never mind the World Cup. What about the World Cup of Darts?
Really?
I mean,
is there an opening ceremony?
It's coming home. England have got a pretty good chance in this, haven't they?
Well, yeah. I mean, football not the only World Cup starting today. I love the darts myself, so I'll be trying to catch as much of this as possible in between the football. 4 days of action it is in Frankfurt. It's a pairs event. Northern Ireland go in as reigning champions. Josh Rock, Darryl Gurney winning it last year. They're 10-1 to retain. The top 4 seeds all get through to the second round. Don't need to busy themselves with the group stages. England, you're right, tournament favourites, and no wonder. A team made up of Luke Littler and Luke Humphries. They struggled to find their rhythm, I must say, last year, but rightly favourites again this year. You'd say at 4-7. The Dutch have world numbers 3 and 4, Van Gerwen and Van Veen, they're 5-1. Scotland pair Gary Anderson and Cam Menzies at 12s. The host Germany there at 20s. Of particular note, usually Wales are right up there in the betting because it's usually Gerwyn Price and Johnny Clayton. This year, Price has declared himself unavailable, so Nick Kenny partners Clayton, and their odds have slid all the way down to 25-1, gents. And before I go, I've been asked to include this. You'll soon tell it's not been through any my own volition, but an England to win the World Cup of Darts and England to win the Football World Cup double comes in at around 11.5 to 1 if anyone particularly fancies getting on that.
Okay, there you've wetted our whistle there.
Tempting.
Nice one, Sean. We'll catch up with you soon. Thanks very much.
Cheers, guys.
There we are. Of course, Northern Ireland won it last year. We spoke to Josh Rock on the show, didn't we? So you can have upsets in that, as Sean was saying. So that was a look at the latest odds, all thanks to BetMGM. Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18+, begambleaware.org.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. Keep things golden with responsible play at betmgm.co.uk. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Do you think FIFA could help the Iranian men's team a bit more than they've helped out like some of the delegates and the referees?
Well, it's remarkable to hear FIFA say that, given that in 2017, Gianni Infantino, during the first term of President Trump, after he imposed the seven country travel ban, he said, and I quote, "Teams who qualify for a World Cup need to have access to the country. Otherwise, there is no World Cup. That's obvious." We're now in the process of defining the bid requirements in the world. There are many countries who have bans, travel bans, visa requirements, and so on and so forth. It's obvious when it comes to FIFA competitions, any team, including the supporters and officials of that team who qualify for a World Cup, need to have access to the country. Otherwise, there is no World Cup. The requirements will be clear, and then each country can make up their decision whether they want to bid or not bid based on the requirements. Fast forward 8 years, and he said again, everyone will be welcoming Canada, Mexico, and the United States for the FIFA World Cup next year. There's a process to go through to get visas and so on. This process will be smooth. Well, that clearly is not true. None of that was true, and he was lying all along, because now we're in a situation where, you know, the United States, the UK, Iran, Sweden, any country decides their policy when it comes to immigration. That's true. However, every country does not have a legal, moral, or divine right to host a World Cup. That is a privilege. And in order to host and keep that privilege, you have to fill certain requirements. It's clear that the United States, from 2017 till today, even back then when it was during the bidding process, were not...
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Straight away, Mexico at the World Cup makes you sit up.
Jimenez with a header. Oh, it's brilliant. Powerful header from Raul Jimenez.
Mexico at home in the World Cup makes you sit up even more.
Son into the area to settle it. Was there ever any doubt when Son Heung-min races clear?
Son, since coming to the league, it's transformed things.
He's a very, very important player for our team. When we need him, he showed something.
And Schick with the volley, and the Czech Republic are back in the game.
Pavel Schultz is the guy to watch for the Czech Republic. There's no doubt about it. Schultz is someone who's got that little bit of extra craft.
Shabalala! Oh! What a goal to give South Africa the lead.
Yes, it kicks off tonight in the Azteca Stadium with Mexico versus South Africa. The two teams played in 2010. Of course, it was a 1-1 draw in the opening game in Johannesburg. And joining us now, man, I'm sure was there that day. A doyen of South African football, who I know from World Soccer and lots of other fine work. Mark Gleeson joins us. Hello, Mark.
Good morning.
So... we were chatting to our friends at BetMGM on the bookies front just now, and I know that South Africa aren't expected to get out the group, say the bookies. Is that unfair?
I would suggest so, given the new format, with the... I mean, you've really got to be rubbish not to get through the first round. Only 16 teams going home with those 8 best third-place finishers all advancing. So I do think they've got a good chance. I mean, they're in a group, with a very poor European team in the Czech Republic, as our Irish friends will tell us. The South Koreans a little bit on the slide at the moment. So there are expectations that they'll get enough points out of those 2 games to advance given that they're probably going to get a bit of a I wouldn't say a hiding, but certainly are going to be on the receiving end in tonight's game.
Who are the players we should look out for South Africa? I kind of lost track of their squad a bit.
Yeah, South Africa don't have many foreign-based players because the league here is fairly lucrative. You know, it's not worth your while financially to land up in Portugal or Denmark or Switzerland or one of those leagues when you might as well stay at home and get the same kind of money. So players are not very well known. We've got a very exciting 21-year-old called Mofokeng, Relebohile Mofokeng, who's won the local championship of the Orlando Pirates, likely to be named Footballer of the Season next month when they do the awards. Lots of skill, incredible skill, in fact, but very slight and very easy to sort of muscle off the ball. And at the Cup of Nations, where South Africa were eliminated by Cameroon in the last 16 in January, that was exactly what happened, is that, you know, it's a small, slight team, South Africa, with not much physicality about them, and after dominating for 20 minutes, missing a couple of good chances against Cameroon with better ball playing skills, they were just muscled out of the game, you know, and kind of faded away, intimidated out of the tournament. So that's my big worry for South Africa at this particular World Cup. Just a little bit too small.
That's interesting. Prowess in rugby and all that.
Yeah, that's very true. I suppose it's
big lad.
Hugo Bruce, the Belgian, is the manager. What kind of football does he like to play? What are your expectations the way South Africa will approach tonight, Mark?
Lots of quick play, lots of wing play, looking to get the ball forward quickly. They certainly won't sit back. He doesn't like a 6, for example. He'll play with probably two midfielders pushing forward rather than a holding midfielder. So it is an attacking side. A little bit leaky at times at the back, so that could also be a problem. I think the one thing to remember about South Africa is they did finish ahead of Nigeria in the World Cup qualifying group, which is quite some feat. You know, it does give them some gravitas, but haven't been to the World Cup since 2010, and obviously very, very inexperienced at this level. A lot of these players. Bruce has made the argument regularly that he feels South African footballers should, you know, the majority of the national team should be playing for clubs in Europe, feeling that the local league is just not sort of intense enough. But I would suggest to you that, given that most of the players come from 2 clubs who regularly compete in the African Champions League, that they certainly get a higher intensity level in those competitions, particularly when you go to countries like Morocco, Algeria, Egypt, around North Africa. There, you know, that's no easy task and quite a scary experience. So I don't think they're going to be overly intimidated tonight by the atmosphere, but maybe just brushed off by the physicality of the Mexicans.
What about the interest from the public? Because South Africa, if I'm right, they're world champions in cricket, they're world champions in rugby. Those are brilliant sports for South African people. What about football, and what about expectations for the World Cup?
No, expectations are fairly measured, fairly low. I mean, obviously, people are hoping, but we're very realistic in this country about our position in world football. I mean, cricket and rugby really are minority sports in terms of participation, even if you add all the numbers in India, for example. But in cricket, but certainly minority in terms of countries participating. So. And the structures, of course, for cricket and rugby are so much better in South Africa because all of those kids, all of those players come out of the school system, you know, and the school system here is the old-fashioned English-style boys' school system is very strong in sport, and that's where they draw. But the football's completely different, you know. Football is drawn from the majority in this country, and these are all guys who come from very poor backgrounds, not much nutrition growing up, all a little bit on the small side, and really fighting their way to make a livelihood for themselves and their families through football. So it's a whole different ball game. It's you know that you can't compare those sports with the South African soccer.
Well, Mark, enjoy the game tonight. Good to talk to you. Hopefully we'll catch up with you later in the tournament. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Mark Gleeson there, South African journalist and commentator. Will be in Mexico later on with Ed Mallion, journalist and co-owner of a football club out in Mexico. So we'll get a flavour of how they're feeling about their 3rd World Cup, which is not as a nation, I mean hosting. which is great. Lyle Foster's probably the one recognisable South Africa player, the Burnley striker. So that's the one that most people will know over here. But that game live on talkSPORT after the opening ceremony at 6:30, 8 o'clock, Mexico versus South Africa, South Korea, Czech Republic at 3 a.m. All the games, of course, across the talkSPORT network. It is Paul Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Still to come. We'll chat to some boys who they were Wolves fans, went over to the World Cup in 1986 and never came back, made lives for themselves in a different part of the world off the back of that.
Now Rob Edwards is gone, they might come back.
Well, maybe that was... I'm not sure the timeline works. Talking of which, Matt Jarvis going to weigh in on that one as well. And we're going to have a daily weather report. I think we saw last night that the weather's going to play a pretty major part in this World Cup and the games and delays, etc. Stephen Morgan joins us from Fox Weather over in the States, and we'll get an update from Stephen in a few moments' time.
Talk to you about Harry Kane. Is he the best player in the world right now? Is he a serious Ballon d'Or contender? How highly do you rate him?
He's the best out-and-out striker at the moment in the world, yes. Understands his qualities, understand how he wants to play the game with dropping in at time. Even though I would want to see him more up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's super calm in the box, always in control, knowing where the net is, knowing where the space is, knowing where the goalkeeper. As a striker, you watch a lot of the game to the corners of your eyes all the time, and it's just one of those things, you know. He's always in control. And that is
obviously
important thing.
We've watched him his whole career, fantastic finisher. But you've seen him close in training. How good is he at finishing?
Yeah, very good. He gets annoyed when he misses a chance, but he's very, very, very good.
Yeah,
very good.
Both feet, everything.
Both feet, heading. Still does a lot of his penalties. A lot in an empty goal.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot in.
I can score in front of empty goals. Sometimes.
That's why he's doing it.
Sometimes,
That's why he's doing it.
A quick word about
the feeling, you know.
Yes.
A quick word about Harry Maguire. Reportedly livid. Understandably, that it wasn't picked. What do you make of that? Right or wrong decision? Firstly,
knowing what I know, knowing him, knowing.
Sport.
With the headlines at 1 minute past 12, I'm Tom Clayton. Good afternoon. We understand Rob Edwards was sacked by Wolves over the phone after reading speculation about his successor online. It's understood Edwards had already played a key role in new contracts and signing for several players this summer. Club legend Dave Edwards says the whole thing's a bit odd.
I think everyone thought, from a Wolves perspective, that we were heading in a direction which was going to involve Rob, and everyone was starting to become really excited for next season. So I think it's just a massive, massive shock.
It's reported Portuguese coach Cesar Peixoto is lined up to take over at Wolves. Elsewhere today, England have 60 more minutes of football to prepare for the World Cup. They'll face Miami FC in a truncated behind-closed-doors game. The only issue is England breezed past Costa Rica in last night's warm-up. Who takes the penalties?
It was a bit of a mix-up because all of the substitutions, and we should have put it in writing on the walls. Was our mistake.
Anthony Gordon scored it. Jude Bellingham didn't look too unhappy about it. England's first group game against Croatia is live on talkSPORT next Wednesday. Scotland get going against Haiti live on talkSPORT early on Sunday morning, but Aaron Hickey's already thinking about facing Brazil and his Brentford teammate Igor Thiago.
It's been funny. We've been talking every day about that game, so we're both really looking forward to it. But yeah, he's a big boy.
And it's suggested Man City's rivals could claim £100 million each if the club are found guilty of breaching financial rules. Man City, of course, deny any wrongdoing. It's after Everton were told to pay Burnley around £35 million in compensation over past PSR breaches. Get more at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
2,000 people a day were seen to in hospital corridors last month, and there are claims mass protesters are stopping nurses from getting into work in Belfast. Sinead has more at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. With over 600 centres across the UK, most of which open 7 days a week, we're always there when you need us. QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
Windy as rain spreads eastwards. That will be heavy at times, but easing in the west. Feeling muggy under cloud cover.
US football forecast on talkSPORT with QuickFit, giving your car the magic sponge and water bottle treatment to keep it going this summer. QuickFit, drive away happy every time.
Yes, I can finally say good afternoon. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT this Thursday lunchtime. Talking of which, we're going to cross the gym a little bit later on and set the scene for their show over in New York. And we can head to New York now to get the latest weather, all thanks to QuickFit. Joining us from Fox Weather, their reporter, Stephen Morgan. Hi, Stephen.
Hey, good morning, Paul. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We appreciate you joining us. We saw last night in the England game, and our team with Scotland in Charlotte, North Carolina, they had to hunker down because of stormy weather and lightning. So it's going to be a bit of a feature of this World Cup, isn't it?
Welcome to summer. I think it's a little early. Yeah, the afternoon storms, especially for the games that are going to be played in Florida and Miami. This is going to be one of the challenges, the complications that we have in the United States. But of course, as Paul and Andy, you guys know, it's not just the U.S. We've got Canada and Mexico that's going to be hosting the World Cup games too.
Sure, absolutely. England's HQ is in Kansas, and we hear the area has the second highest number of tornadoes in the United States each year. So
the US is a country of extreme weather, isn't it?
It is, as you know full well in your line of work, Stephen.
You know, and Kansas, where you guys are headquartered, my hometown, about 3 hours away. So I'm jealous because I'm in New York. I want to be back what we call for Kansas in the Midwest. And no doubt about it, April and May are the 2 months where, climatologically speaking, we have more tornadoes than any other time of the year. But sometimes in June and even July, because the World Cup, that play is going to happen through July, we can get some severe weather setups. And actually today, it could be a bit rough. I mean, we've got a severe weather threat across the plains that extends all the way into Chicago, which I know Chicago's not one of the host cities, but even as far south as Kansas City, things have been a bit rough. So let's hope that there aren't any tornadoes, but I think storms are going to be a certainty.
Maybe Harry Kane will become a storm chaser. Maybe that's one of the things he'll take away from Kansas. That would be great. We're going to ask you across the border, because the games tonight are in Mexico City and Guadalajara. Do we know what we can expect from them?
Even though it's in a different country, Paul, it's the same. It is the same. We have storms that are going to be around the games this afternoon as they get underway from a time perspective here in New York. 3 p.m. Eastern time is the first game in Mexico City with, of course, the host country. We will have storms. It looks like There will be storms. It's an outdoor stadium. We know not every stadium's outdoor, but it's going to be an issue. And I know it's the rain. We can play in the rain as long as it's not too heavy. It's that lightning, like you guys saw yesterday in Orlando. That's the problem. And there's a really good shot. There's a hurricane season that's well underway. And during the Eastern Pacific hurricane season, the country of Mexico sees an influx of moisture. And there's a lot more rain that we can see get squeezed out of the atmosphere this time of year than, let's say, in the fall and winter.
We saw last summer how many games are disrupted. I think
the World Club Cup.
I think the final's going to be in August.
It could well be. There is going to be a roof on the stadium in Dallas where England play Croatia. So that, as you said, not all of them are outdoor. But so I think we should expect interruptions, possibly even tonight, Stephen, from what you've said.
I think too in Guadalajara. Yeah, it's a few hours away from Mexico City, as we know. It's a little closer, Guadalajara, a little closer to the Pacific, the Eastern Pacific coastline. And the storms, if that game local time could be held in the afternoon, we'd be fine. But the fact that it's going to happen this evening, that's when it looks like some storms will be around. So yeah, the two games for today in Mexico, I guess, continue that theme that we've seen in Florida and North Carolina since yesterday.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, Stephen, appreciate you joining us. I'm sure we'll catch up with you later in the tournament. So thank you.
Sure thing. Appreciate it, guys.
Stephen Morgan there from Fox Weather over in New York. And that was talkSPORT's weather update, all thanks to QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
US football forecast on talkSPORT with QuickFit. Like a super sub that keeps your car in the game this summer. QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
So, a big domestic story of the day, which has blindsided many of us, including Rob Edwards himself, is the Wolves manager's sacking. Joining us now, former Wolves winger Matt Jarvis. Hiya, Matt.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, where did this one come from? I mean,
you don't want to be reading about your successor online, do you?
I mean, it's quite shoddy, isn't it? I mean, the guy left a very good job. Okay, look, he was well paid to do it, and it was a Premier League job. But he left a good job at Borough because he loves Wolves, played there, wanted to try and keep them up, even though it was looking pretty difficult. So it's quite a shoddy way to get rid of a manager, from to hear a few rumours, go online, then have to ring the club to find out if it's true or not.
Yeah, totally. It's ridiculous, really, and definitely out of the blue. And I think if you speak to anyone, that's either been at the club or been watching, you can see what he's done since he's come to that club. I spoke about it when he first went there. His man management skills, the togetherness that he's got with that group of players. And what I find incredible is that they've had this plan. They knew really for a long time that the situation they were in and they were going to get relegated. And he's built this team. He's then played a really good style. They played some really good games. Yes, results probably weren't as they should be. But then towards the end, he's then whittled it down and he's looked at players that he's probably thought, yeah, these will do for me next year. These won't. They've had all of this time to plan because they knew the situation. And then the players that they've already signed, and like Andre, who's re-signed, signed a new deal, he talks about Rob Edwards as being a integral part of that. And then they release the interview with Kieran Trippier yesterday about how instrumental Rob was when he had other clubs that were interested. So then you have this bombshell that happens the next day when Rob's been sacked. It's absolutely incredible.
Have they explained themselves, Fossen? Have they said why they've decided to do this? Is it the same sort of statement you normally get, or have they explained why?
Thanking him and all that.
Well, no, I haven't seen one, to be honest. And the thing that I suppose I'm looking at and thinking, well, if you've sacked Rob, you've obviously planned who's coming in, and that will be announced, because otherwise you've had so much time to. Rob would have been in contact with everyone, talking about who he wants to come in, how they're going to restructure, who he wants to stay, who wants to go. And they've had so much time to do it. So they were ahead of everyone else really on the curve. And that's why you've seen the signings of, Trippier and Jimenez. But now it's just throws everything up in the air. And I think the fans were actually excited about the new season with the transfers that have come in and the stability, I suppose, because they've known the situation for a long time. And now it's like, wow, where do we go from here?
The website have got a statement, and it is all the normal stuff about, wishing him well, thanking him. Yep. It says, it's been an extremely difficult decision. Following the end of the season, we undertook a thorough review of every aspect of the football operation. This process involved careful consideration of many factors, extensive reflection on what we believe is required to progress the club. Our decision, not based on character, professionalism or dedication, it's all about determining what we believe gives Wolves the strongest opportunity to move forward from a sporting perspective. While there were positive signs and areas of progress, we ultimately concluded that a different football direction would better align with the style, identity and level of competitiveness we want to establish at the club. They say it would have been easy to stick with the familiar. However, leadership is not about choosing the easiest path. Bold stuff there, but they're backing their decision. We'll find out in the fullness of time whether they've made the right call, Matt.
Well, exactly. I think that's it. You can be as bold, and you can say we're looking in a different direction and everything. But obviously, the proof's in the pudding. And if everyone, if it comes in, new manager comes in and they do really well, then they've got it spot on. If he doesn't, then you're looking at, well, who would you bring in? Well, you bring in someone like Rob, who's been and managed at that level and done extremely well. So, it is now an option for them to they have to they back themselves. They're going to have to go and back whoever they bring in. And I just feel like I think a lot of these players would have either stayed or had that opinion of coming and signing at Wolves because of Rob. And now there's going to be a situation that they've either signed or they were now having a think and maybe questioning whether they want to do it or not.
If they have signed, and what does a player think in this circumstance? I know they're professional, they've got to get on with it and all that, but it must be disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, you've probably been there. You sign for one manager, you get on with one manager, and then suddenly they're gone. I mean, there's a bit of uncertainty, I would imagine, in a dressing room after that.
Yeah, well, I just look. I know there's slightly different circumstances, but if you look at Kieran Trippier, he's basically come out and in his interview yesterday that was released, said how there was other clubs interested. Yes, obviously he wants to move closer to his family. That has a big part to play, but he talks about Rob and talks about how he liked what he was saying, the vision, and how he's so enthusiastic about everything. And that's a massive. If I was going to a club, you have to talk to a manager. Sure. You have to understand, especially in the situation they're in. You have to say, well, what's going to happen? Who's coming? What are you wanting to build? And who's going to be with us? And obviously, Rob was fully expecting that to be him. And today, you find out that you're not. It's a big shock.
Thank you, Matt. We'll catch up with you soon.
Pleasure.
Matt Jarvis, former Wolves winger. We'll see how Cesar Peixoto looks like the man who's coming in. Will get on.
I know. I thought I'd wear all four.
Wear all four sombreros.
Just to get value out of them.
Let's have a look at that. The four sombrero look. Rarely seen in a British studio.
Really?
A little bit of breaking news out of Celtic. Not massively shocking, but Martin O'Neill has been appointed as manager on a 1-year contract with a 1-year option. Although one of our listeners who was a Celtic fan earlier on feeling that Martin will do his year, and then Kieran McKenna could be stepping up, the man who just walked away from Ipswich and wants a little bit of a break from the game. So we'll see what happens. But well done to Martin. He could well turn up with Jim and Simon, who are live from New York.
Yeah.
And I think we'll catch up with Jim just to set the scene a little bit later on in the show. But this is one of those stories. Remember the Scotland fans who went to the 78 World Cup and never came home and set up lives over in Argentina? Well, some Wolves fans, timely enough, went over to the 86 World Cup, a bunch of mates from Stourbridge in the West Midlands, and stayed. There is now a documentary, Lost Down Mexico Way, and we'll be chatting to two of the guys. And while we're there, we'll get their take on what's gone on today at the club. And then we'll be also chatting to the Mexican club owner and journalist Ed Mallion to set the scene for the opening fixture live on talkSPORT tonight, Mexico versus South Africa. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
No, are you worried about next season under Maresca?
No. You should be worried, mate, because I believe you want to bet on United finish higher than
There's a
United.
chance, a small
There's
chance.
not a chance. No, you didn't say that the other day on the radio.
Why is there not a chance?
Because there isn't, because we've got better players and a better coach.
Look at what you've lost, though. Bernardo Silva, Stones, you've lost Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, but there'll be a few coming in. Don't you worry about that.
Is that it,
Yeah.
Gav? You said to me, so I'm going to give no what for, and that's it.
Your friend's on, is he? Oh, friend.
Well, just wait.
Well,
But
mate,
they only finished 7 points behind you as well, remember?
Listen, don't you worry about that, mate. If you're that confident, I'll bet you 500 quid that City finish above United, right? And
I'm not a Man United guy either.
And if you lose, you've got to be my butler for a week.
I'll bet you 500. That's it.
No.
Not a butler.
Take the bet. Take the bet.
You be my butler for a week.
No, I'll bet you 500 though.
500 quid's
500
more than your
quid's
week's wages, isn't it? Hey?
That's a show fee for us, mate.
I'll bet you 500 quid. When City finish above United, I'll come into TalkSport and I'll take it off you.
All right, then. Fair.
Yeah, is that on? Is that a bet?
It's on. It's a bet, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'll go and get the money off the Man United fans in the studio.
Well, to go back to the thing, we've lost legends, Bernardo and John Stones and Guardiola. But I think we're in a better place to be equipped to deal with it. And if there's one thing that makes me feel better about it, it's the chairman is now the most important man at the club, and they barely...
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Yes, here we go. The FIFA World Cup kicks off tonight. We're sending you and a mate straight to New York to see England live with Adidas, the tournament's official match ball supplier. We're talking a trip to watch England face Panama, return flights, hotel, match tickets and spending money all taken care of. Plus Adidas thrown in the official try-on the match ball and a fresh pair of boots. So if you're ready to get that winning feeling, here's how to enter, but hurry because entry's closed tomorrow, Andy.
Yes, for your chance to win, head to talksportwin.com or text WIN to 83338. Text and online entries cost £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 418 7260. Entries must be in by 4 p.m. tomorrow. That's when you need to answer your phone if it rings. It's 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a TalkSPORT promotion. Full T's and C's at talksportwin.com. So for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 right now.
Hawksbee and Jacobs here on talkSPORT with you through until 1 o'clock. And if you're just joining us, wonder what the heck's going on and your body clock's all up the wall, we've switched with Jim and Simon for the duration of the World Cup. We'll be coming to you from 10 to 1. And Jim and Simon, live from New York in the World Trade Center, will be joining us just for a brief chat a little bit later on. But before that, we take it these competition tickets are return flights. And I'm sure our next guest booked return flights back to the UK when they went off in '86 to Mexico to the World Cup. But 4 Wolves fans never came back. Set up a new life in another part of the world.
having visited that World Cup. Just before we chat to two of the guys, let's bring you a flavour of the documentary that's forthcoming about what they got up to. It's called Lost Down Mexico Way.
This is 1986.
Thatcher was in power. The black country was pretty grim back then.
Before the phones, before the internet.
We thought it would be the ultimate cool thing to go to a World Cup.
They were hooligans, all of them. Every damn one of them I met were hooligans.
The disco phone, we used to call ourselves.
It was all new for all of us. First time to America, first time to Mexico. But that summer was going to get mad. There was Rabbit Head, nipped out for a pint of milk, gone for 12 years. Batesy, proper character. Said goodbye to England, went over there and that was it.
Arnie, a taste for beer, madness and Birmingham City. Texas Steve, the smooth-talking wild man of Dallas.
And then there's me, Ada. I'm the arranger. Mexico World Cup. Get in.
That looks great, doesn't it?
Very good, yeah, absolutely.
Let's have a chat with two of the guys.
Bad thing to do, really.
Gary Allen and David Arnold. Good afternoon, good afternoon, fellas.
How are you?
So, where are you? Maybe we'll start with you, Gary. Tell us through it. I mean, how easy was it just to sort of stick around and start a new life? I would imagine you had to jump through a fair few hoops, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty crazy. I mean, it was raw. It was real. We just, after the World Cup, went to South Texas, which was South Padre Island, and got some work there. And just, played it by ear, basically, just doing whatever we could to get by. And then eventually, one by one, we all went to Dallas. And from Dallas, it just blossomed from there, really.
Wow.
It's good you haven't lost your accent.
Yeah, it's great. So it's almost like you've just sort of left Stourbridge yesterday. I've not noticed a twang. David, again, what was your experience of that? Was there any trepidation? We'd said in a little trailer there, you felt maybe there was nothing down for you in Stourbridge at that time. So did it feel like a bit of a no-brainer?
Well, I'm the Birmingham City fan of the group. I'm actually from Birmingham.
Ah, right.
But yeah, I was only 19 in 1986. So leaving everything behind and coming over to Mexico was just a mad experience for me. And I ended up staying in Mexico. So right. I'm here in Monterrey right now.
Oh, okay.
Really? Well, both of you, what did you go on to do for work?
Yeah, let's kick off with you, Gary. What did you kind of pick up what you've been doing at home, or going to a completely different direction?
Well, I was a pipe fitter back home, a real bad one at that. So no, I started off doing. I mean, the only jobs we could get early on was like waiting tables and stuff like that, and just working for tips. And then as we moved, once we met Texas Steve, we all moved to Dallas. Dallas opened a lot more up for us. I had tons of jobs in Dallas. One was a framing crew. Had a job as one was I don't know. I was a head chef on the one job. I don't know how I got away with that one, but I was a head chef. And then basically, as we all moved to Atlanta, Atlanta's home to Coca-Cola, so we all worked for Coca-Cola as installations crews, and we went all over the country installing Coke machines.
Wow.
And then finally, the last 20 odd years, I've got my own company. I'm back in the, not so much pipe fitting, but I do sewer and drain work. And I've done that for the past 20 years.
Wow. And what about you, David? What sort of line of work did you go into?
Very different, Paul. I'd been in Monterrey for about a year, and I was scratching around for things to do and living off money sent from home and things like that. And then I bumped into a guy in a bank with a Cockney accent speaking Spanish. And he turned out to be one of my best friends, and he was here from the World Cup as well. He's a Spurs fan called Steve Edmonds from Billinghurst. Wow. And I started working with him, and he was running an English school, and so I started teaching. Wow. And so now I'm the director of an international private school.
Wow, what about that?
That's fantastic, isn't it? And presumably you speak Spanish as well. You must do, by
well, I would think so.
Perfectamente bien. Muchas
gracias. So the other boys involved, Stuart Bates and Gary Hardwick. I mean, when was the last time, Gary, that you saw them? I know you came together for the documentary, I guess, but do you keep in touch?
Yeah, I mean, I see Batesy all the time. I mean, when we left Starbridge, there was 6 of us, because there was Mad Nigel, Tibbo, Kettle, me, Rabbithead, and Batesy. So, yeah, there was 6 of us that started the journey. Unfortunately, Rabbithead, Gary Hardwick, he passed away 2 years ago, that was sad. But Batesy moved up to Houston. He's been there for years. We chat all the time. I was over there last year with him, obviously doing the documentary in Dallas with Texas Steve. But we talk probably once every couple of weeks. Obviously now a lot more, and I'm going to see him next week for a reunion at the World Cup.
Yeah. Are you hoping to go to games?
Yeah, so certainly. I was thinking, David, from your point of view, you're going to have games in your back garden, aren't you? Well, maybe not quite.
Yeah, we got a game on Sunday. Sweden versus Tunisia. They're planning a big fan walk. The Swedish FA have planned it with the local municipality, and they're expecting maybe 20,000 people to walk to the stadium.
Wow.
So it should be a good atmosphere.
Yeah, and Gary, I mean, it's a bold thing to do, but how did the family feel? You're a young guy. You obviously got family back home. You both did. Was it difficult? Was there a bit of homesickness at first?
Yeah, first couple of years it's always hard. I mean, I've been back loads of times. I went back and got some more stuff. Christmas of 87, 86, sorry. Then more lads came over with me. As the years go by, you don't miss it so much, but you still miss your mates. You still miss the banter. Back in them days, you didn't have the phones or the internet, so I used to call my mother from a phone box once a week on a Sunday, and that's how I kept in touch with my parents. Apart from that, it was just letters. And after a long time, of course, we got Facebook, we got social media.
Yeah.
More and more, we came back and got into touch with all my mates. But I think the first 5 to 10 years was really hard. But it was a better life, and as I say, Thatcher was in power back then. It wasn't too good on the job scene, so I took a gamble. I think my parents said, fair play, go for it, and after a couple of years, I just knew I was going to stay here, and the rest is history now.
Yeah, no regrets.
You can see more games, can you?
Yeah,
than we.
You can see more games than we can on the telly. Absolutely, David. Finally, no regrets for you. You never think, I should have stayed in Brum.
No, none at all. I've had the time of my life in Mexico. It's an absolutely wonderful country with wonderful people, and yeah, we missed the football. I miss going to Birmingham City, but I started watching the local teams, Monterrey FC, Rayados, and Tigres, and they're pretty good. And I used to go to all the away games with them and had the crack with them as well. So that was fun back in the early days.
Brilliant, fantastic. Look, good to chat to you both. Just very quickly, Gary, where can we see the documentary? When's it going to be on?
It's just been released on YouTube. It's Lost Down Mexico Way, and it's getting good reviews right now. So by all means, take a look at it and let me know what you think.
Will do. Good to chat to you both, guys. All the best. Thanks. Enjoy the World Cup.
You too. Thanks so much. Thank you.
There's Gary Allen and David Arnold, one of the 4 lads, or 6 lads, he said, that made a life for him. So it's a great story.
It is.
And yeah, you can check it out on YouTube, Lost Down Mexico Way. Now we're going to head back to Mexico very shortly. Ed Mallion is a man we knew as a fine journalist. We chatted to him at quite a few tournaments. He's now based out in Mexico. He's co-owner of a club there. And obviously he's on the ground in Mexico. And give us a flavour the way they're feeling ahead of tonight's opening game in the Azteca against South Africa. We'll catch up with our own Alex Crook as well. A few stories. He's in Dallas, ready for England's opener. And lots more besides to come in the final half hour. Before we hand over to Jim White and Simon Jordan, live from New York.
What about the fact he's not taken Palmer or Foden? Would you have taken one or both?
Look, I'm biased, am I? Everybody knows that I love Cole Palmer to bits. You know, with Phil Foden, it's a little bit. I think he's a magnificent player, but he has to have the players around him to play really for him, to be able for him to produce what he's producing at Man City. So you're always going to search a little bit more for Phil Foden to get the best out of Phil Foden, you know? So, but Cole Palmer, I would have taken him, but I do understand why Tuchel hasn't taken him, because he hasn't had the best season he could have had.
How important is that, though, that players that go to tournaments, you went to the 1998 World Cup, that you're going into a tournament in form?
Yeah, I had a magnificent year in 98. I didn't expect to go, but I went because I had a magnificent year. Look, Cole Palmer, I know he can turn up and be decisive. But then I think he hasn't done it for England the whole year. He's been unlucky when he came to England with injuries and all that kind of stuff. He's had a lot of football in a very small amount of time, and his body is just in bits. So for Chelsea, it's great because he can look after his body now, and he can be angry and have a really good year this year for Chelsea.
Wolves fans have been calling talkSPORT to react to the bombshell news Rob Edwards has been sacked after just 7 months in charge.
You know, you think they're rumours, it can't be true, and then bang. If you're going to sack him
exactly.
slap bang at the end of the season.
Yes.
I feel like they've just had a look in the shop window, gone, oh, there's somebody pretty around the corner.
It's reported former boss of Gil Vicente in Portugal, Cesar Peixoto, is lined up to take over at Molineux. Now, Thomas Tuchel was pleased with England's energy and intensity. Rice, Gordon and Watkins all scored in the World Cup warm-up win over Costa Rica. But the pick of the lot, who else?
That was the sort of performance from Bellingham of like, I'm the number 10.
Yeah.
I'm starting.
This is my
I'm
role.
going to be the player of the tournament. I'm going to be the player that wins the World Cup for this country.
England's first World Cup group game against Croatia is live on talkSPORT next Wednesday. Meanwhile, FIFA President Gianni Infantino has called for people to chill and relax over Somali referee Omar Artan being denied entry to the US to officiate. The comment came during a press conference where he defended FIFA over several controversies, including ticket price scandals, anti-government protests, immigration raids and visa issues. And Man City have made a British record transfer fee of $121 million for Elliot Anderson. There's more at talksport.com.
Been talking about split loyalties in the household. Alan's in Zagreb. Croatian wife, 2 Scottish children, 2 Croatian. We have a family group called Scroatian, although you'll all be getting behind Croatia against England, I'm sure. Alan, next week. London born, but family's Portuguese. I am too, dual national. Grew up supporting England until we were knocked out. Moved to support Portugal, who ironically were sometimes the ones that dumped us out. Family originally from Mozambique, of course.
Oh, right.
Much like Eusebio, who was playing for Portugal. I thank God every day that they're useless, or else my allegiances would be split further, says Adam, the Brentford fan. And Chloe got in touch. She has a turkey called Tiffany. And
really?
Tiffany got very confused during the chat with Tinsel. So
we can fix them up.
Which, yeah, that's right. We'll go. Is there some sort of dating site for turkeys? What would be called? Someone will think of it. Anyway, let's move on.
I could think of a name, but I'm not going to say it.
No, don't do that. No, really don't. I know the one. Don't do that. Anyway, earlier on this morning, we caught up with a journalist and owner of Quintero, the Mexican football club in Liga MX, Ed Mallion, ahead of the game against South Africa tonight. We asked how the atmosphere is building in Mexico, ahead of their opener, live on talkSPORT.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, we talk about this World Cup and we forget sometimes that there are 3 countries hosting it, because so much of this, the focus and the preparation, rightly so, has been on one of the 3 nations. And the US is dominating in terms of the amount of games that they're hosting. But Mexico is easily the most football-mad country of the 3. It's got the best league of the 3 by a distance. The Premier League and Liga MX are, by quite a distance, the most viewed leagues, even in the US, way ahead of anything else, especially MLS. So, the Mexican team, it's got some really exciting players. I'd say, they're going to have to rely on the coach, Aguirre, putting together a team that can accentuate the strengths and nullify their own weaknesses a little bit. I think the obvious player to highlight for me is Gilberto Mora, 17 years old. He is certain to go to a big European club. He just can't go yet. He has to go next January because he turns 18 in October, and you can't transfer internationally before that age. He's a special player. He's got the same agent, Rafaela Pimenta, now as Erling Haaland, and just an exceptional talent. Missed half the last season through injury, which is a concern because of his size. He's kind of a slight build, but more a real talent. I think people will really enjoy Quiñones as well, who for me is easily Mexico's best player. They, a bit like England, left a couple of their best, most talented players out of the squad. Marcel Ruiz, who turned down a move to England last summer in order to carry on playing for Toluca, win the CONCACAF Champions Cup and be in the World Cup squad, didn't make it. That was a bit of a surprise. He was injured, did have an ACL a few months ago. But no, there's real excitement here in Mexico. It's just a football-mad country. They get up for every tournament, but having a tournament in their own backyard, having games at home, we gave all our staff the day off today and just said, enjoy it, because the World Cup is here and it's magnificent, isn't it?
What can we expect from the opening ceremony?
Well, I don't expect too much from the opening ceremony. I'm not planning on watching it. I've been at a couple of these opening games of these tournaments, and I find it unbelievably tiresome. I've seen Pitbull and Jennifer Lopez more times than I care to imagine at these sorts of things. So I will probably be out the back getting a drink while everyone else is watching it, trying to, approve of the shorter queues. It's the usual song and dance. There was a practice they did the other night. I saw some pictures of a cool drone show. So we might see that, but it's also, the game's at 1 p.m. So I don't know how much a drone show is gonna show up at that time of day. But no, I'll be happy. My favorite part of the opening ceremony, probably when it finishes and when the game can actually get underway, and the tournament, of course.
What can you tell us about the 3 stadiums going to be used in Mexico, Ed?
The stadiums, there's one that needs no introduction, right? I'm a big stadium geek. I love football stadiums, kind of all the different shapes and sizes, and I've got had a bucket list of these for many years. I've been to a lot of them. The Bombonera, the Maracana, Wembley, all of these ones that you love. I haven't been to the new Bernabeu since they've redone it, and that's on my list. But today I get to go to the Estadio Azteca for the first time, which is a huge one ticked off the list. It's obviously For me, look, this should be hosting the final, right? This is easily the most famous football stadium, north of Brazil, right? Basically in the Americas. So the Azteca for me should have been hosting the World Cup final. Now FIFA obviously have different interests, which are largely financial and keeping certain people in the US happy. But for me, the Azteca, it's a brilliant stadium. I can't wait to be in there. The remodeling they've done, they got it. I think the phrase they used was, "It will be ready but not finished by the World Cup," which is fairly fitting for Mexico. But no, like Azteca, as famous as it comes, they've hosted 2 World Cup finals, I believe, before in 1970 and 1986. So that's going to be awesome. And then the Estadio Akron in Guadalajara, that's where Chivas play. Chivas, really interesting club, one of the biggest brands in Mexico. They only use Mexican players. They don't sign foreigners. Have a huge following all over the country. It's built into kind of a grass bank. It's pretty cool. It's designed to look like a volcano. But it's a really interesting stadium. I think it's worth noting Guadalajara and Mexico City both. It's kind of rainy season this time of year. It's going to be nice. It's going to be hot and warm. But as with most of this region, we're going to get rain, and it could be quite torrential at random times. But it's not going to be cold rain. It's going to be nice and warm. And then I'd say, look, the most beautiful stadium probably in the whole competition is in Monterrey. The famous view where you look out over what's called the Steel Giant, and you've got the mountains in the background. Monterrey as a city is one of the richer cities in Mexico. It's got 2 big clubs up there, Monterrey Rayados, who just released Anthony Martial and Sergio Ramos in the last year. And they got Tigres up there as well. But look, really cool stadium. That is probably the most modern of the 3, even though the Azteca has just been redone. And like, they're brilliant stadiums. Like, this is going to be real atmosphere, real football culture. If you're into stadiums like I am and a complete nerd about it, you're going to love them.
Are there high hopes for the national team in the tournament?
No, is probably the honest answer. They have a slight pessimism to them, the Mexicans. I spend a lot of time with Mexicans, talk to them a lot, great people, just a little pessimistic about their chances. I don't think this is a great Mexico side. As I said, I think they're well coached, and they've got stars like Gilberto Mora, and Quiñones, as I said before, is really good. I do like the left back. He's not young; he's 31 years old, but Jesus Gallardo is really good. They've got a combination of guys they can use in midfield. There's young Brian Gutierrez. You've got Fidalgo, who just switched over nationalities from Spain. Eric Lira, Luis Romo can both play in the deepest midfield role. It's just not a team. I think that the end of their path is at best England in the round of 16. If I don't think it's a guarantee they win the group, and if they don't win the group, then the round of 32 can be very difficult as well. So very interested to see how they do, and I'll be at a few of their games. But I don't, unfortunately, think that Mexico is a team that's going to go super deep in this World Cup.
You obviously own a Mexican club yourself, Ed. So how will you be marking the World Cup at Querétaro FC?
Yeah, look, Querétaro has been, a wild first year or so. Just absolutely love being there. We've done a couple of things to, in the city to have a fan fest, and that we've done it in collaboration with the local government, so people can come out and watch games. The games, I know people back home are complaining about how late some of these games are, but obviously on this time zone they're pretty perfect. So people can go after work and watch these games at, I think it's like 6 p.m, 9 p.m, and then the midnight kickoff. So there's going to be a lot of that sort of stuff going on. We've got people attending. We're going to be at the game tonight with my sporting director at Querétaro, and we'll have a presence at quite a few of the games in Mexico, and we're sending some staff who work hard for us and do great work. And we had a couple of players who were on the initial shortlists for the squads, and it's just it's a football mad country, so everyone's involved in this in every way, and I just can't wait for it to get going tonight, honestly.
There we are, Ed Mallion, a club owner over in Mexico and journalist. Now, thanks to him.
And the fans, the Mexican fans, they can't wear their Lucha Libre masks.
They're not allowed to.
FIFA banned. So FIFA very strong on Haiti's kit and Lucha Libre masks.
Yeah,
That's it.
less bothered about the ticket prices.
Or one of their own referees
letting
being allowed
referees
to
in.
referee. Well
Okay,
done.
what you going to do? So that's live tonight. Mexico, South Africa kicks it all off. 8 o'clock kick-off live on talkSPORT, as is the other game in Group A. South Korea, Czech Republic will cross to New York, where Jim and Simon are coming up very shortly. As you probably gathered by now, we have switched with Jim and Simon for the duration of the tournament, and we'll just have a quick chat with Jim, and then we'll head to Dallas to speak to our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook. We are here, of course, with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.
Late kick-off was delayed even more by what was a monsoon over in the States, Gemma. But let's talk about England's performance. What do you make of it, first and foremost?
Look, they got the job done. End of the day, they're going to come up against a lot tougher test.
Yeah.
I thought they were poor. Yeah. They couldn't even string a couple of passes together.
No.
And they obviously England should have really scored more.
Yeah.
You know, Madueke, that should have been a goal. That's a shocker.
I mean, that
Rodgers, he should have scored that as well.
Yeah.
And we are a little bit wasteful. I thought we were a bit wasteful, actually, against New Zealand, in all honesty, because they had chances and didn't punish them, only 1-0. But I have to say, I was really impressed with the energy, the fluidity, the movement, that opening 25 minutes. I thought we were good. Costa Rica were bad. I'm not going to take but you still have to put in a performance. We played against bad teams in the past and not put in that kind of performance.
No, like I said, the first 10, 15 minutes we were on the front foot. We not giving them a sniff. We was bopping the ball around.
High energy, high tempo, good press.
You know, in this heat as well, good press, winning the ball high, being really cutthroat, but just sometimes not. That little end product at times we're just lacking.
Yeah.
And I think that will be a worry when we start getting into the latter stage of the tournament, when we come up to teams like Spain and France.
One chance might be all you get. Big chance in the game.
Exactly. And if we can't find that, and if we need, 10 or 15 chances to put one away against the bigger teams who are sturdy, who are better at the back, better at keeping the ball, that could come costly.
Indeed. 03717223344. England 3, Costa Rica 0. They weren't great, but there were one or two impressive performances, certainly first half. I thought Anthony Gordon was excellent. He made the first goal. I thought Rice and...
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Because this summer, you and a mate could be jetting off to watch England versus Panama in New Jersey live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 with Adidas, including tickets, flights, accommodation and more.
Go to talksport.com/win to enter now, and you could be soaking up the incredible atmosphere at the FIFA World Cup 2026. For the chance to win every football fan's trip of a lifetime, enter now at talksport.com/win.
Well, it's surprising how working 3 hours earlier than usual does mess with your body clock. But spare a thought for Jim White and Simon Jordan. Not only are they in a different time slot, they're in a different time zone.
Yes.
They're live from the World Trade Center in New York City.
Breakfast show for them.
That's right. It is breakfast time for them. Let's just quickly cross to New York, catch up with Jim. Hi, Jim.
Paul, hi, how are you? You're right about the time zone and how everything is different. It's coming up to 8 a.m. here in New York. It's coming up to 1 o'clock with you at home. So Simon, who's sitting over there here in this incredible studio that talkSPORT have got themselves here in New York, Simon is getting ready. We're going to have to get used to this. It's a bit different, Paul. I walked around from our hotel about an hour and a half ago, and that would be about what? The back is 7 o'clock, 7:30, and it was 25 degrees then. So goodness knows what it's going to be like. It's going to go up to about 35 later on today. Hot and sticky, Paul Hawksbee, but that's how we like it.
Hot and sticky Paul Hawksbee. I think that's a clip of the week. Jim, your old mate and...
Clip that one up.
Yes.
We will.
Your old mate and, of course, regular guest on your show, Martin O'Neill's been confirmed in the last hour or so for a year at Celtic. We've had a few listeners suggesting that Kieran McKenna will take over afterwards, and that's why he's walked away from Ipswich.
Really? That is a very interesting thought. What surprised me, Paul, was the amount of time it took for Celtic to confirm that Martin had the job for another year, having been in there as interim once and then interim twice. But, of course, what a job he did. I mean, that is undeniable. And he turned the Celtic ship around, and they ended up, of course, winning the Scottish Premiership as well as the Scottish Cup, overcoming Dunfermline at Hampden in Glasgow. So, yeah, well done, Martin. I'm absolutely delighted for him. I mean, I think Simon had said, Martin, you're as young as you feel. If you think you can do it, age 74, crack on and do it. Yeah. So, yeah, and the Kieran McKenna theory is an interesting one. I think we'll watch that closely. We're going to be talking about that, obviously, today, and all sorts of events that are going on back home. Not least Rob Edwards losing his job at Wolves, which has surprised us here in the US of A. And former US goalkeeper Brad Friedel, 82 caps he has to his name, has Brad. He's going to be joining us here for our first show right here on the 50th floor of the World Trade Center. Normally, Paul, I say we're coming live from London Bridge on the 17th floor of the News Building. We've gone a bit higher out here in the US of A, the 50th floor of the World Trade Center. The view is incredible. The Statue of Liberty just along there behind me. It's unreal what talkSPORT have done here in the United States. Delighted to be a big part of that.
Well, we look forward to it, Jim. We'll catch up in a few moments' time. Thanks very much.
Terrific. Thanks, Paul.
Jim White there over in New York with Simon Jordan, Brad Friedel, lots of great guests coming up in a few moments' time. Before that, we're going to cross to Dallas for a feature that we're almost certainly not going to call Crookie Does Dallas. It is Alex Crook, our chief football correspondent. Hi, Crookie.
I think that'd be a bestseller.
We won't dwell on it.
No.
So there's a roof. It's funny. I was telling Andy just now. There's a roof on the Dallas Stadium where and air conditioning where England will play Croatia next Wednesday. Andy said that's not good. Croatia's a team of old men. We wanted it hot and uncomfortable for them. It's a good theory, isn't it?
Yeah, very true. I'm really looking forward. I've not been to the stadium yet. I think we're off there this morning to pick up our accreditation this morning, Dallas time, I should say. But I'm told it is an absolutely epic arena. When we got off the plane yesterday, around about 3 o'clock local time, the heat and the humidity hit you instantly. It was 40 degrees at that point. So I think the England players actually might be quite grateful for those air-conditioned environment at the weekend. Next week. I understand where you guys are coming from in that maybe against Croatia, England's youthfulness could come to the fore. But actually, I think they're good opponents to be playing in the heat of Dallas early on in the tournament, because it's going to be quite a slow tempo, isn't it? And a nice way for England to feel their way into the tournament. Having said that, obviously Croatia, a team who've given us big problems in tournaments in recent history.
Yeah, we've got a tricky group, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Ghana's going to be tough, but I mean, look, England really have got to come out of it almost certainly. Crookie, just very quickly, because we're nearly out of time, we're going to cross to Jim and Simon shortly. You got a bit of news on Danny Roll. Rangers fans will be interested in this. What's the situation?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Danny Rowe obviously took over from Russell Martin. I think did a good job initially at Rangers. The fans were a little bit unhappy towards the end of the season. They didn't play a bigger part in that enthralling title race over in Scotland. We're hearing this morning that Salzburg over in Germany are interested in taking him back to the Red Bull group. He was at Leipzig before, early in his coaching career. Doesn't have a release clause in his contract. He's under contract at Ibrox until 2028. But I'm told this morning by a very reliable source the two clubs are talking. So this is one that could really develop.
Nice one. We'll catch up with you soon, Crookie. Thanks very much. Yes.
Cheers, guys.
Alex Crook over in Dallas there, head of the England game. Jim and Simon up next, live from the World Trade Center in New York City. Thanks to everybody who got in touch. We had lots of calls we couldn't get to. A lot of you were your dual nationality households. Thanks for all of those. We squeezed in as many as we could. Sorry if we didn't get round to you. We'll be back tomorrow from 10 a.m.
Oh, yeah, 10 a.m.
Talking a bit of Scotland, amongst other things. We'll be getting ever closer. Brazil in action over the weekend. We always look forward to that.
Giving you an in-depth report of South Korea versus Czech Republic.
Yes, of course. Our Creatures of the Night will be covering that 3 a.m. kickoff. But you'll be able to hear it on talkSPORT, as you will the opening ceremony and indeed the opening game of this World Cup. Have a great afternoon and rest of the day. We'll see you tomorrow from 10. But coming up next, Jim and Simon in New York.